Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Adventure Thursday. It has been a couple of weeks since the last one, but I'm here now. Is that Valhalla music? No, it's from a game called Hedon. It's some Alexander Brandon music. Good soundtrack though. So also my hair's wet. So if you're wondering why my hair's messy and frizzy and not fully dry, I've just had a bath. I felt like taking a bath. So just before I start, I wanted to talk about a few things. I actually jotted some stuff down because I need to remember to talk about these things at some point. So, first of all, we're playing Lamplight City today. I started this a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, the last VOD of my first stream of this game got a little bit corrupted. Twitch was having issues on that particular day, so the last half hour of that stream is kind of gone. It's gone. So if you're watching this like afterwards as part of the playlist, you might be wondering why that part's missing. It's not something I could salvage, unfortunately. I tried waiting to see if it would come back in at all, but no, wasn't having it. So hopefully this one won't have any problems, but I don't imagine it would. It seems like it's rare for Twitch to have issues like that. Secondly, this game is actually on sale at the moment. I just wanted to bring that up because I've been enjoying it so far and I want to plug that. So it's on sale for about 33% off on Steam. So if you want to pick up Lamplight City, you can get it on there. And the last thing that I've noted down is the fact that those of you who were here on Tuesday, you might remember that I finished up my playthrough of Resident Evil, which means that next Tuesday I'll be starting another playthrough. And I put it to a vote. We had The Messenger, Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, Hollow Knight, and Disco Elysium. And the one that came out on top was Hollow Knight, so next Tuesday I'll be starting Hollow Knight. It was a very intense duel. I did not know which way it was going to go, because Disco Elysium was on top, and then Hollow Knight was on top, and it seemed like it was anyone's game, honestly. It was back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, that's all I wanted to get through to start with. Just to make sure everything's up to speed. So with that out of the way, I'm going to launch up Lamplight City and we're going to get back into solving some mysteries with the voice in our head. The Messenger will get played at some point, I'm sure. I like Wade keeps asking for it and Evac keeps asking for it. Hey, by the way, Evac, nice to see you. So it's bound to happen at some point. I want to play it. I want to play it. That's why it keeps coming up in the polls. Hold on, when's that loading? Where's the graphic?
Hello there.
The graphic didn't come up. That's weird. I'm not sure why that didn't come up properly. The sound came up, but the graphic didn't come up. I might need to give it a quick test, actually. Let me just excuse me. Well, I'll log into Streamlabs and just do, oh, God. Why have you changed how it works? They changed the interface on Streamlabs all of a sudden. You personally voted for Hollow Knight. Nice. I don't know very much about it. I think it's a Metroidvania. I think it's a Metroidvania, isn't it? Hold on. Let me look at my alert box. Bits. Alert variations. Let me just have a look. Hello there. Let's test that again and see if it works this time. Nope, that works. I don't know why the
Hello there.
The video didn't load for you, Ebac, when you gave me the 65 bits, but thank you for them anyway. Okay, best game I've ever played. That's a rich praise. That is rich. Where are the polls usually posted? They're usually on Twitter, mainly because Twitter has like a pretty wide-reaching. It reaches the widest audience. I've tried different ways of polling people. I've tried like Google sort of document things. I've tried straw poll, but the thing is, those quite involve people clicking through, whereas Twitter is native to the site, and I already have a following, so it's the best way for me to get like the sort of a breadth of opinions. But I usually post I usually put it in like the announcement things or stream updates channel on my Discord. So if you ever like see that I put it in the Discord, it'll like you'll be able to get a link to that poll anyway. All right, hey Remele. Gosh, I've been rambling for 10 minutes and we haven't even like started the game. All right, let's get into it. This should load up any. There we go. Any moment. That's good. I do have a Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord already, you can just type !Discord and you'll be able to get a link to it. Hunting Cabin, that's where we were. I didn't play it last Thursday because I wasn't feeling up to it, but I remember where we are roughly. Mine sass, exactly, yes. Right, so I looked at the stuff on the walls, didn't I? Hunting gear. I'm pretty sure I looked at all of these.
Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear.
I was trying to look at the chair, actually. You've been on the server forever because you muted it. I mute quite a lot of servers that I'm in, honestly, because I'm in too many.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Anything like backgrounds are nice in this game. Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try and have me withdrawn from my... Oh?
Are you ready to be Robin Hood?
Thank you, Evac, for the 15 bits. I am ready to be Robin Hood, or Miles Fordham, in the case of this game. To think that Mother would try to have me withdrawn from my studies is unbelievable. Don't worry. I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin a life is quite enough. Okay. So that was from Juliet. Juliet being the daughter of this this woman who was not murdered, but like they did something to her to like put her into sort of a vegetative state. Oh, hi. What's up, man? Oh, that's a gun.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Please don't shoot
Jean
me.
Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Oh, that was
Forgive
easy.
my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr.
Yeah, I did
Dupre.
just kind of sneak it in
This
your
is a man
place.
whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
It escalated quickly, then it de-escalated quickly as well, so he's found his spot in the room to stand in. Let's chat.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
Well, I haven't really got much of an option now, have you? Nice mustache. Oh, my cat wants to be out of the room. Oh, this every time. You hear me talking, I don't give you attention, and you're like, alright, then I'm leaving. Cats. Cats, cats, cats. Aren't they just the best? They are the best, to be fair. Alright, so let's ask some questions, and
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Lord, does he
Okay.
actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre, but why are you out hunting?
he
and
did
not
it.
your
He's the
wife's
murderer.
side?
Excuse me?
I'm very suspicious
You
of him,
are
actually.
here to lecture me on my marriage.
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house, with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles.
Yeah.
He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
Tell me about the death.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested?
Don't play
Andrew said it's
dumb.
because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do.
Is that so?
You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Okay.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
Yeah, there is a voice in our head. It's kind of difficult to explain, Zero Ishtar. Basically, at the beginning of the game, Miles has a partner called Bill, and Bill ends up getting killed in an incident. And then it cuts to a month later, and for some reason, Bill is now a voice in Miles's head. So Bill's just making snarky comments as like a sort of narrator figure, but is also able to communicate with Miles. There's something going on there. Yes, there was an incident. I'm not blaming anyone, but the chat did tell me to do what happened there. Yeah, so you know. I only did what the chat told me to do. I hold no culpability for what happened in that incident. What happened with the gun? You know, not my fault. Not my fault.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman,
Oh, do you now?
see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at
I'm a big boy now.
What about your home life?
Thank you,
Truth be
Eba.
told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to
75
be.
bits, nice.
I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
That's a good question.
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
Do you?
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr. Dupre avoids his family on purpose. But why?
Okay, we could pry about the letter, but I don't want to tip off that we've been snooping through his things, because you can basically there are a lot of variables in this game from what I understand. Like you can fail a lot of things, so I'm not gonna press too much. I've got the letter, so I'll see if anyone else has some kind of interest in it, and then maybe I can confront him with some extra information that I get from someone else.
I'll be going now.
That's my
Au
instinct, at least.
revoir, Mr. Fordham.
He's very French, isn't he? I think we've got everything we can get out of here right now. So. Where do I want? Dupre Manor. Oh, thank you, Zero Stuff, for gifting a tier 1 sub. That's much appreciated. I want to have a look at... I don't actually know where I want to look. University. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Oh, Juliet, I have a letter from you.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Now you're in first, exactly.
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
All right, let's pry about this.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be
That's
withdrawn.
interesting.
I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
Interesting.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Let's have a look at our clues then. Juliet's testimony. Madame Dupre tried to have Juliet withdrawn from the university because she did not approve of her studies. When Juliet found out, she was furious. This caused an irreparable rift between mother and daughter. Okay, that counts as a clue. So we've got the stimulant pills that Andrew made. The pills are basically cocaine, by the way. So I think it was Remole who researched it. So basically, this guy's been making cocaine in his house. So yeah, that's something that's been going on. Useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach, or plucking those pesky long eyebrow hairs. Yep, that's pretty good. Madame Dupre was most likely poisoned, making her appear dead. Dark magic practitioners in the city have been known to use this method. I wonder if there's anything we can talk to our prisoner about. Don't think that he is responsible, but I think, you know, we might be able to get some more information out of him.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Hatred of Dupre.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted.
I mean, yeah,
When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
I found out a little bit about
Intriguing.
that. Yeah. Okay.
That's all for now.
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you
Yeah,
are.
you're in my head, man.
Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin. Hence, they're falling out.
Yes.
Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious.
It does, actually.
It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Fair enough, Bill. Okay. I guess that puts her in. I don't think she doesn't seem like the type though. That doesn't quite seem right to me. I'm not sure. Return to Upton and accuse Juliet Montgomery. I think there's still maybe we can get something else out of Jean, perhaps. I'm gonna do a little bit more exploring because I don't want to go all in on this just yet. Is it too early for accusation? I don't know. It seems to be pointing me in that direction, but
This quack.
So he hasn't got anything to say. Does he have anything to say?
As amusing as it is.
No, he doesn't have anything to say. Right. Okay. I think there's something else we can ask Jean, to be fair, but I kind of hesitated on it, so let's go do that and see if that brings us any extra information. And if not, then, well, you know.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
You sound so delighted.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she
I
wants
think it
to
was this
study,
guy.
she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites
It's
in
true.
one way or another.
It's true.
I'll be going now.
Au
Got a good point there,
Mr.
Bill.
Fordham.
Okay. I suppose we should go and talk to Juliet about it then. If she is a prime suspect. I mean, this is the first case in the game. This game's has, I think, 5 cases overall. So it's not one overarching mystery. It's actually several mysteries, like, sort of packaged into one game. Maybe they link in some way, I'm not sure. But This might just be
busy.
the first one.
It's not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
Hey, Upton. Oh, Upton's the it's the lady at the Ruin Coffee House, isn't it? Yes. Whoa! Getting a raid from Geminitis Games. Thank you very much for the raid of 3. Ooh, hold on. There we go. That's much appreciated. How are you guys doing? What have you been playing?
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Jean Dupre isn't talking very much. I think he's hiding something.
Well, you have a knack for making people divulge their secrets.
There has to be something that'll make him talk. Perhaps I should check with those close to him. That's enough.
Thank you for the follow, Summer.
Okay.
Batman Arkham Asylum. Nice. It's been a long time since I played that game. It's a good game though. I don't want to wrap up the case just yet. I don't think it was Juliet. I'm gonna
That's it, I think.
Let me have a think about this.
Then you'd better get back to it.
I had better. Have you got anything to say? That guy is that guy's bulge is far too defined. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That is he's sitting far too smugly as well. So this is a public institution. Is there anywhere else we could get some more information, perhaps, about Jean Dupre? Maybe they've got something to say now. I don't know.
It's quite. All right. If we did.
Have you got anything to say?
As a mu.
No, guess not. Right. I guess I'll just. Is there anything at the graveyard? I've kind of done all the content there, I think. Like, there's no one there to talk to, and I mean, it's to be fair though, it is still like the investigator that it's still like got my as like an objective there. Huh. There was another room, wasn't there? Okay, no one's here. I was wondering if I could get some guidance from Miles' wife. I can't remember her name now. The game seems to be pointing me in the direction of just wrapping it up. So let's just see. I mean, I've got like, I could do a save actually. I'll put it. I save it as accusation. Because I still think that something's a little bit off.
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm not entirely sure.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Juliet Montgomery, Madame
I'm
Dupre's
not
estranged
sure
daughter.
about that though.
Her daughter? But why?
Madame Dupre disapproved of Juliet's relationship with Mr. Martin, and also tried to have her withdrawn from university. Juliet grew to hate her, and wanted to be free of her overbearing and controlling influence.
So, how did she do it?
Aside from studying botany, Juliet is also interested in ethericity. She rents a room in the Chum where she conducts her experiments. Among her notes, she talks about the ability to use the power to put living things into a death-like trance.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information and we can make an arrest. It'll be bittersweet news for Mr. Martin, I think. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work.
Yeah.
For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
I don't think I've got this right.
Juliet Montgomery,
Yes, may I help you with something?
you're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupre.
What? But how can that be?
Come with me, Miss Montgomery. We'll need to question you at the station.
Yeah. I don't think this is quite. What are the repercussions of a false arrest? I don't think there
Addy,
actually
I'm
are.
home.
repercussions other than just
Addie?
being
She
told
must
that you're
still be out
wrong?
at her hairdressing appointment.
I don't know.
I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about
Oh, do go on, Bill.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
There are repercussions. Eventually, I see. What about me?
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
You want to talk about how this case went?
You want to talk about how we did on this case?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before.
What are you saying, Bill?
If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your
Oh,
performance.
no.
What are you talking about? We discovered it was Juliet who was to blame.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion
Okay.
much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Oh, hi,
Hello,
Adelaide.
Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking.
No, I wasn't talking to myself.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
No, I was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
That's a half
Ah,
truth.
of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
As long as there isn't someone staring through a window at some point, you're good. I remember that bit in Gabriel 1. It's quite creepy, actually. He just sits there like that whole day.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
Anti-steam
same.
tech radicals.
Why Redites, though?
Wow.
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name if you ask me. And uncreative to boot.
Well, what would you call them then?
GOG. It's a good joke. The Boom Boom Boys. A league for the preservation of blowing things up. I like the Boom Boom Boys. I'm going for that.
Something more evocative, like the Boom Boom Boys.
Definitely gets to the point, I'll give you that. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
What do you mean? The
Well,
Boom
I
Boom
think
Boys
it's
is
about
perfect.
time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
All right then.
Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
Oh god.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
Let's do it.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
Oh.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Music stirred a couple
You
of
right
times
there,
there.
dearest?
All right, there we go. I've just taken, Whoa, whoa.
Who was that at the door?
Yeah,
A
the
late night
game
courier.
keeps like,
You've got a message from Upton.
yeah, game keeps like stuttering a little bit. Fordham. This case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at Ruin ASAP. It's urgent. See Upton. Yeah, I am nervous about Adelaide, but hopefully she'll be okay. We've already lost Bill, so.
It seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you
Hold on, I just realized I have too many things open. Give me a second. I'm gonna close something.
just take your
There we go.
soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick
Yeah,
in for
it's
another hour or so.
fine.
Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
You're not even gonna like. Okay. Not even like a peck on the cheek or anything? Yeah, okay. That's fine. Guess I'll just go. Drink alcohol like Guybrushers and Monkey Island 3 and fake out. That's a great sequence. Do we need to add Bill to the catalog of characters we lost too soon? Yeah. Alright, Constance.
Hello, Upton.
I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. For
Whoa!
I'm sorry for disturbing you this late.
The stutters are very weird. She said, I'm glad you came, I'm glad you came, I'm glad you came. I'm not sure if that's something on my computer, but... if I got like... Hold on, I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing like lagging it up. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, don't say if that's a bug or if that's on my end. Sorry about that. If it's... Yeah, she's definitely glad we came. Get your minds out of the gutter, people. Think it's the game? Okay.
I'm curious to know what's so important that it couldn't wait until morning.
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. The report came in
Okay.
tonight just before my shift ended.
That's pretty
The
serious.
family wants to keep the investigation very low key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
I see. Oh boy, I get to talk to rich people.
Oh boy, I get to talk to rich people.
Not just rich, obscenely wealthy. The kind of people who never use the same handkerchief twice.
Just buy
Malcolm's
tissues.
father owns the company that's building the new transatlantic airship.
I suppose that would make the family an easy target for this sort of thing.
Alright.
Okay, I'm on it. I'll try and find him as soon as I possibly can.
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out, or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well. So
We are in the air
feel free
tissues.
to stop by.
That's fair enough. When were tissues invented? Someone look that up. I didn't really even think about it. I was just like, you know, tissues are a thing. They're paper. But then again, they might not have been around. They might have been like a luxury item. Eh. But if they're obscenely wealthy, 1924. Well, that's interesting. That's still a lot later than you'd expect. Hey, we're actually nearing the 100th anniversary of tissues. How about that? 4 years' time. First introduced in 1857, though. Ah. Okay. Hello, sir.
Mr. Miles Fordham is here to see you, sir.
Very good, Mr. Havelock. Send him up.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Fordham. I'm Malcolm Harris.
What's up?
I'm terribly sorry to hear about what's happened, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. You were very highly recommended by Miss Upton. She said you'd be able to solve this faster and more discreetly than the police.
Oh, I'll try my best.
I admit it's a rather unorthodox approach, but we're desperate.
I understand. I'll do all I can to find the kidnapper and bring your son back unharmed.
If you'd like to examine the nursery, it's just through that door to the left. I'll ask you to please try and keep quiet as I just sent my wife to bed. Her nerves are rather shot, you see.
Yes,
I
of course.
see. And he's just gonna sit back down and put his head in his hands. Oh, he's in like sad boy hours, isn't he?
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
No doubt you do.
I mean, his son
But
was
I'm really
kidnapped.
not
That
in
is
the mood
fair.
to talk right now.
Well,
It's
not
been a
kidnapped. He's gone
difficult
missing.
Evening, and I'm not certain I have it in me to answer your questions.
Kidnapped
at
might
the
not be
moment.
right.
Fair enough. But I will need to ask you about the incident at some point.
Yes, that's fine. Just not now.
Okay.
Mr. Harris said his wife went to bed. Probably not a good idea
okay.
to disturb her. She looks like she's up to something.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure the only location the Harrises care about is where
Yeah, does he
they
want
are
us to
at
find
any
his son or
given
not?
moment.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah.
It's nice to see that tea is still served here, even in times of tragedy.
Well, let's have a look. Oh. Okay, this is interesting. Some torn fabric.
Interesting. This fabric looks as though it came from a garment of some kind.
And some broken glass. Looks like, considering it's on the inside of the house, someone broke in rather than someone breaking out, presumably.
Be careful not to cut yourself, Miles. I don't think the Harris family has ever seen blood that isn't blue.
So it's not like the kid has managed to, you know, break the window from the inside. Why is the window closed? Let's have a look at
Look,
this.
you can see the balcony extends all the way around the side of the manor.
Always keep possibilities
That would
open.
make it rather easy for someone to access this window from the outside.
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though.
No, maybe it's on the outside.
It looks rather flimsy. Let's not try sitting on it.
Okay.
Probably won't be another year or so before the child gets any practical use out of those blocks beyond putting them in his mouth.
Pretty young kid then.
Nice view of the garden from up here.
It's always possible, Tenman. You never know.
That's odd. Why is there a loose button in the crib?
That is curious.
I'm no expert on children, but it seems like it would be dangerous to have around an infant. If only the flower shop burglar was as easy to find as this clue was.
Ding.
Yeah, the kidnapper left the child's blanket behind. There doesn't appear to be any trace of the silver spoon, though.
Whoop. I actually skipped that
wonderful.
line.
The soporific
Oh,
is
God.
working. Well
We're tripping
done,
balls.
Fordham.
Okay.
Now how are you supposed to... What's the word I'm looking for?
Instigate. Interrogate.
Okay.
I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Perhaps it's time to call it a night.
Yeah.
I am fading.
Oh God.
Shh. It's time to sleep.
This is yeah. Let's get out of here before we pass out in this dude's house. Alright, see you, dude.
Well, Mr. Harris, I believe I've done all I can for right now.
Did you find anything?
Yes, I believe I have some leads I can pursue. But the most important thing to do in cases like this is wait to hear from the kidnappers. I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue my investigation and ask you and your wife some questions once you've had time to calm down a bit.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I suggest you stay here and get some sleep. We'll all need it.
Yeah, we definitely. Did we fall asleep in the chair? That does not seem comfortable.
Miles, wake up. It's nearly noon.
Oh no.
Ah, so it is.
What happens if you stay up?
Why didn't you come to bed when you got home last night?
It was late. I didn't want to disturb you.
So what was so urgent about the case Upton sent you?
I'm trying to track a kidnapped child.
Oh my goodness. That's awful.
Yes, the pressure's on, but I think I should be able to crack it.
Assuming you actually managed to get
Hey, Bill.
anything done at the Harris Manor today.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Also, we've got company. Mrs. Delacroix is having her hair done here today, so please make yourself presentable.
You mean I'm not already?
At least do something about your hair. I do have a reputation to maintain after all.
I will try.
What's wrong with my hair?
Do you really want me to answer that? We'll be here all day. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
Clothes.
So?
Yeah.
Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
You should probably
Right.
change out of those
Brooding
clothes as
detective
well.
in a
You know,
long
it's a
black
bit
coat.
smelly.
That's never been seen before.
Did he take a
What are you
shower in
talking
2
about,
weeks?
Bill?
We're probably not a shower,
Never
but
mind.
I could at least take a bath. Come on, man. This is Stinky Man.
It's admirable just how organized.
All right.
And then he said, "Oh, hello there. I don't believe we've met."
Mrs. Delacroix, this is my husband, Miles. Miles, this is Mrs. Delacroix.
And the smelly vagrant
Pleasure
who lives
to
in
meet
this
you, Mom.
house.
Likewise, young man. A pleasure.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Delacroix?
Oh, yes, everything's fine. It's just that, well, you weren't what I was expecting, is all.
Keep your head, Miles. She may be a closed-minded idiot, but she's just an old lady.
You know.
What were you expecting exactly?
Just
well...
Go on, lady.
Now then, Mrs. Delacroix, what was it that you were telling me about Mr. Delacroix and his dogs?
Oh, yes. So, Harold came in and said...
Impressive. She got off pretty easy. I was expecting a repeat of the Parsons incident. You should give Adelaide a kiss on the way out, though, just to make the old bat feel extra uncomfortable.
It's a good idea. Okay. So this is the Laura Dupre falsely reported dead. So that was the last case we were working on. I'm not going to read it all out loud because it's a lot of text. I'm just going to kind of skim read it. Although a suspect was arrested, the evidence has revealed his innocence. The new suspect is yet to be identified, but is believed to be someone closely related to the family. Okay. Oh. Thank you for the 200 bits, Evac. Terrifying. Manjul Maze is one of the ones that always gets people. It's a very sudden and loud sound, and I've turned it down several times actually. It actually used to be louder than that, and it used to jump scare everyone whenever it came up. So I turned it down to like quite a bit less than what it used to be. All right, protests at Airship Yard continue. Prime Minister's re-election campaign. Interesting. They have a Prime Minister here, even though it's sort of loosely based on New Orleans. Sabotage blamed for brewery explosion. Okay. Interesting.
Addie?
Not right now, Miles. I'm busy.
I'm sorry.
We can talk once I finish with Mrs. Delacroix.
All right.
Goodbye, dearest.
I look forward to your return, my love.
Trolling that old lady. Okay, let's actually find out some information now. Oh.
Remind me, Miles, how was finding some rich people's kidnapped baby going to help us track down the flower shop burglar?
I didn't notice that star in the void, actually. She might have pronounced it in different ways.
I'm not interested in the burglar right now. I want to help these people and get their child back.
Yeah, it's the kind of...
Or at the very least, help them find out what happened to him.
It's important.
Right. Well, you'll need your full wits about you if you plan on doing that.
Uh-huh.
I do have my full wits about me. I'm perfectly capable
doing
of doing
good.
this.
Yes, and I'm perfectly capable of being alive.
Hey.
I just choose to be this way because it saves on the laundry expenses.
Bill.
You can't deny it. You need to stop taking the soporific, Miles. Adelaide has been trying to get you to stop for months, and Upton already suspects something is amiss. Not to mention your little episode last night. Trust me, no one is going to want to hire the dullard detective.
Clever. Did you come up with that one all by yourself?
What are you going to do when the cases stop coming in? How long before you get put away in Riverview?
If I do get locked away, it'll be your fault.
Which is exactly why you need to get back to your normal routine so you can find the burglar.
Okay.
All right, fine. I'll stop. But if you keep me awake at night, so help me.
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll find a way to cope. You were always good at that. Well, I'm glad that's settled then.
Right.
I knew you'd see things my way eventually.
It's not as though you gave me much of a
Yeah,
choice.
I don't really have a choice there, Bill.
In time, you'll thank me. Probably not before the withdrawal hits, though.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Don't make me change my mind on this, Bill.
Okay. That's
Mr.
good.
Fordham, you're back. Allow me to introduce my wife, Miriam.
Hello.
A pleasure, Mrs. Harris. I wish we could have met under better circumstances, but I assure you I'm doing all I can to find your son.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Harris, has there been any communication from the kidnapper?
None at all.
Well, I'll have another look around if you don't mind.
Okay. I'll have a little look around first again and try and catch anything that I
Miles,
missed last
didn't
time.
you notice something a bit strange about the Harrises?
Like
Quite
what?
a few things, actually. What are you referring to?
Their son was just kidnapped, yet they're each on their own side of the sitting room.
Mm,
Not comforting each other, not crying together. Nothing.
that's a good
They're
point.
stuck-up rich people. Not exactly the type to show emotion.
Miles, you know I'm the most cynical person there is when it comes to their type. But this isn't normal behavior, even for snobs. This goes deeper than saving face. There's something going on between them. I think you should find out what.
Intriguing. I will try my best. Bottle warmer, eh?
Steam-powered bottle warmer. Certainly beats having to do it in the fireplace.
True.
Or in the case of my parents, over a barrel fire. Look at that. The kid has a toy chest. My sister and I used to have to keep our toys buried in the backyard. Of course, that is because the only toys we had were dead rats.
Oh,
My friend Bunny.
that's
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want a giant imaginary rabbit for a friend.
Bill is a dead friend's voice. Yeah, I don't know why we're hearing his voice. I'm assuming trauma and guilt, but I don't know that for certain.
Bear's Picnic. Something about a group of giant human-like bears eating together in the woods is slightly unsettling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything I missed in the...
Nice mobile. Custom made, too.
I meant to look at that
There'll be
before.
no mistaking what family this child comes from.
Right. Okay.
The Harris family certainly has a nice view from which to look down upon the world. I wonder if they use the balcony to give speeches to the gardeners.
Right. I wanted to see if I could get out there, actually. I guess I'll talk to them now.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Cyberpunk is going to have an 18 plus tag and multiple warnings regarding content. Well, I kind of expect that, to be honest. All right.
Tell me everything you can about the kidnapping.
I don't know much. I was out last night while it happened.
Where had you been previously?
I was out with friends. My wife can verify
That
the time I
sounds
arrived home.
legit.
I know this attitude all too well. This man is hiding something. Most likely from his wife.
Yeah.
I doubt his voice is from beyond the grave, so the question is, what's his secret?
Yeah, this is that's definitely not yeah, press X to doubt definitely on that one.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is a good boy. Very quiet. Miriam had wanted a child almost from the moment we married. You know how women are when they have their hearts set on something. I saw no need to rush, but...
Nice to know you're not the only one. Hey, Miles.
The first 2 times Miriam was with child, she suffered some unfortunate accidents. She was devastated, as you can imagine. So when Charles finally came along, he turned out to be quite a blessing. I can't imagine what sort of depraved madman would take him from us like this. You must find him, Mr. Fordham.
I intend to, Mr. Harris.
Okay, tell me about
Tell me
yourself.
about yourself.
There isn't much to tell, really. My life has been fairly well publicized in the newspapers.
Let's pretend for a moment
Yeah.
that I skip over the society pages.
Well, I'm an investor. My father Clyde runs Harris Construction Company, which I will someday inherit.
Ooh, a
And the
family
other
business,
details
eh?
about me are fairly trivial nonsense, I think.
Can you make wild conspiracy theories? Go for it. Why not? Tell me about the button.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, not at all. Do you think the kidnapper might have left it behind?
It's a distinct possibility.
Possibly
Those are all the questions I
got
have
caught
for
on the
now.
window somehow
All
when he
right.
broke it. All right. And you, my dear?
I have some questions for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
He didn't want a kid, and while having an affair, decided to order someone to kidnap his child so that his wife would divorce him from grief. It's certainly a possibility, yeah.
Tell me what you know about your son's kidnapping.
Oh, my poor baby.
Mrs. Harris, I know this is difficult, but I need as much information as you can give me so I can bring your son back.
Yes, you're right. I have to stay strong. For Charles, it happened sometime between 6 and 8 last night. I think. Both my husband and I had gone out. Charles was in the care of his nanny, Mrs. Davis. I arrived home first, around 8:30, and that's when I found the scene in the nursery, as it was.
And what was it you found?
Mrs. Davis, unconscious in her chair, the broken window.
Who's Mrs.
and
Davis?
Charles, missing from his crib. Malcolm arrived home shortly afterwards, around 9, and then immediately sent our butler, Mr. Havelock, to notify the police. We stayed up waiting for any contact
Okay.
from the kidnappers, but there was nothing.
Your husband mentioned he was out with friends last night. Where were you?
I know she's the nanny, but like,
I
I
want
want to find out more about
some
her.
of my friends. We gathered at one of their homes for a concert.
It seems hiding something from your spouse is an activity both Harrises partake in.
What can you tell me about Mrs. Davis?
Well, she's worked for us since Charles was born, a little over 6 months ago.
How did you come to employ her?
Interesting timing.
Malcolm's mother had a friend whose daughter she used to care for. She came highly recommended. We've never had any problems with her. She's always been a dream.
Where is she now?
In her room, I would guess. With Charles missing, there's little for her to do.
Where might I find her room?
There's a small building just around the back of the manor. Hers is the 4th door from the left.
Okay. We've got someone else to talk to.
Can you think of any reason why your son would be a target for kidnapping?
It could be that someone wants our money, or some lunatic who's angry about the new airship. My husband's an investor, and my father-in-law owns the company building it, you see. I just don't know, Mr. Fordham. Frankly, the fact that something like this could even happen is just terrifying.
It's true. Yeah.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is our only child. He's such a good boy. Never makes a fuss. Always very sweet. Oh, Charles, you must be so frightened out there without your mother. Oh, please, Mr. Fordham. You have to bring him home.
That's what I'm doing.
I'll do my best. Tell me a bit about yourself, Mrs. Harris.
Mr. Fordham, my son has been kidnapped and is out there
Listen,
alone, terrified and confused.
I'm trying to get the lay of the land
What can I
here.
possibly tell you that would make any difference to you finding him?
Why are you so
I
defensive?
suppose you're right, Mrs. Harris. My apologies if I upset you.
Okay. I just wanted to like, oh.
Hello there.
Hello, Drifting. Thank you for the 65 bits. How you doing?
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, I don't recognize it. It looks like it came from some cheap coat.
Not that you're judging or
The
anything.
ruffian who took my baby was wearing.
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to determine. That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
Must have been a reason it was in there. Perhaps it was planted there as a to frame somebody. Can I go in here? Yep, I sure can. All right.
Fancy. Some poor servant's probably gonna get a flogging for leaving it in here, though.
You, aside from overeating and giving yourself a stomachache. Yeah, that'll do that. But I've been there. Quarantine and food aren't a good match because you get bored and you're like, well, what can I do? Well, I could eat something. It's not good. It's not good.
Who in their right mind would need that many drawers?
That doesn't need like that many drawers. Actually, that's like quite a few, doesn't it?
Let's see what we have here. A very poorly written letter addressed to Mr. Harris.
I don't suppose it's a letter of admiration.
Let's read it.
On the contrary, the author seems quite upset.
Ooh, do we have a suspect? Mr. Harris, this is your weekly reminder of how much I hate you. Because of you, my wife is dead. Okay. My wife was a wonderful woman, and you have taken her from me. I hope you suffer as much as I have. Okay, so not the most educated person, but obviously we can't really judge. Education, I'm assuming, isn't as widespread as it is, like, in... This is alternate history, so I'm guessing for, like, the lower classes, education isn't as what's the word? I'm trying to think of a word that... No, you know what? Never mind. Common? Yeah. Arthur Devons. It's an interesting thing.
Wardrobes are usually always full of wonderfully dark secrets.
Well, let's have a look.
An empty suitcase. I suppose Mr. Harris must travel every now and then.
No problem, drifting. Can I look inside it?
Yeah, it seems like this is where Mrs. Harris keeps her unmentionables. I like the ones with the frills and the stitched cat.
Bill.
Paperwork and receipts. Nothing particularly interesting here. More lacy underthings. I wonder which Harris they belong to.
Well, we can't judge either way.
Mr. Harris's color selection is almost as drab as yours.
Hey.
Let's see if there's anything of interest in any of the pockets.
That's what I wanted to know.
So, Mr. Harris is a fan of the ponies, is he?
Ah.
I'm sure that's not causing him any trouble at all.
Interesting. Yeah, I reckon that's where he was. I reckon he was off betting on horses. He's sneaking out for underground pony gambling. That's what it seems like.
Painting of the city. Probably the only time the Harris family sees any of the other boroughs. It looks like a pile of women's clothes. Must belong to Mrs. Harris.
Okay. I don't want to confront Zen says hi, by the way. I would say hi to Zen as well. I may end up giving him a raid later if he's still going while I'm still going. Well, when I finish, I mean. Okay. Not sure that I want to.
The Harris family. I wonder if they use.
I wonder if. I don't want to like confront them with this information just yet, because obviously that's like. That's some like sensitive information. So I might just leave that for a second. And go talk to the Maybe not tell him I read his hate mail. That too, yeah. Okay, I might be able to ask about the guy who wrote it though.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
So we might be able to get a location for him.
Course.
Angry letter.
I found this letter in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
You went through our things?
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Harris. It's part of my job.
Of all the insolence.
Listen.
You're upset, I know. But do you want me to find your son, or don't you?
Yes, of course I do.
He's still suspicious.
That letter was sent to me by mistake. It was written to my father. Well, if you can even call that writing.
Have I ever mentioned how much I hate rich people? Because I really hate rich people.
Your father. Doesn't he own the company building the new airship?
Yes, that's right. He's been receiving many letters just like that one since the Lygia disaster.
Ah.
That Devons fellow in particular has sent one every week, along with a bag of chicken bones and dust.
He seems mad.
Peculiar.
Not only that, he leads a daily protest in front of the construction yard where the HMS Lenore is being built, trying to halt production.
I will talk to him then.
My God! How did I not see this before?
Wait, what?
See what?
Devons! He has a grudge against this family because of what happened with the Lygia. I'd put money on him being involved with the kidnapping somehow, as a form of retaliation.
I'll just have to speak with Mr. Devons and see for myself.
Yeah, I guess I will. Tell me about the HMS Lenore then.
How goes the construction of the new airship?
There have been some complications, but nothing we can't handle.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I already told you about the trouble with protesters at the yard, and we're blocked pending Royal Maverick's review of the safety regulations for the prototype etheric diffusion engines. Agitators and red tape aside, we should still be on schedule to have the Lenore finished and in the air by the end of the year.
I
But
see.
really, Mr. Fordham, what the deuce does this have to do with finding Charles?
Each
He
bit
has a
of
point, you
each
know.
bit of information is important. You never know.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
I've got to be fully informed about the whole situation. If this Devons guy is meant to be a suspect, and that's what he's passionate about, then I have to know the full. I have to know everything. Why is everyone getting mad at me for asking questions about stuff that seems relevant? It might be relevant. You don't know. God. Alright, I'm gonna talk to some other people. But don't shout at me. Mrs. Davis. That's who I wanted to talk to. She
Come in.
has some rather thick-looking glasses.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Are you Mrs. Davis?
I am. Oh, bless the spirits. They've
He does
sent
seem very
someone to help
suspect.
at
Oh, hey,
last.
Super Spy. How you doing?
That chest is full of undressed dolls? What the hell is wrong with this old bat?
That's a little bit creepy, yeah.
It's a spirit reaching out to a very frightened man. Possibly the fakest looking photo I've ever seen.
Well, I'm talking to a dead guy, so, you know.
This looks like a mourning portrait of a young woman. Probably a relative of Mrs. Davis. Painting of a tower on a Scottish moor. I wish I'd been able to make it over there. Painting of a misty forest with a cemetery in the background. Cheery stuff.
Fun.
Her Majesty Queen Jessica. This was clearly painted a long time ago.
Okay.
Pretty distinguished looking gentleman. Handsome. Good fashion sense. Wonder who he is.
Previous husband?
A boy taking a nap under a tree while his dog runs
It's a
around.
nice
in
art
the
style,
distance.
definitely.
That brings back some good memories. My mother had a pewter teapot as well. Always made the tea taste funny. Seems like that boiler's the only thing in here that's less than 10 years old.
Ouch.
Another Harris hand-me-down, no doubt. You'd think they would have washed it first.
Okay.
The
Bed?
Harris family doesn't seem to hold the comfort of their servants in very high
Doesn't
regard.
seem so. All right.
I think a bed of nails would be an improvement.
Hey, Perks, how you doing? Pewter is a kind of metal, right? Yes, I believe it is.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
Let's chat.
All right.
She seems quite forthcoming.
Tell me about the kidnapping of Charles Harris.
Oh, dear. May the spirits forgive me. I feel so awful. Charlie was my responsibility, and I failed.
I don't think you can blame
Mrs. Davis,
yourself.
that is beside the point. What's important now is finding him and bringing him home. To do that, I need your full cooperation.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Fordham. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about
I
it.
just need to collect my thoughts, get the negative vibrations out of my mind.
Yeah, get those bad vibes out of here.
Now, what specifically would you like to know?
I would like to know the time of the
What
kidnapping.
time did the kidnapping occur?
I'm not entirely sure. I know I was in the nursery having a cup of tea about 8:30. I remember feeling
Interesting.
very drowsy. I must have passed out then because the next thing
Timings are
I
interesting.
was being woken by
'cause,
Mrs. Harris. To think, whoever took Charlie did it while I was in the room. Oh, may the spirits grant me peace.
Do you happen to take any sort of sleep medications or soporifics?
Oh, dear me, no. Those types of drugs cloud the mind and make it impossible to tune into the ether.
You say that as though it were a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Apologies, I spoke out of turn.
I'm not sure if she has any sick nunchuck skills. I feel like that would be a surprise if she did. But you never know. Could be. I don't mind the portraits myself. I think they look good. Main character reminds me of a Victorian Wolverine. I can see that. He's got a bit of a Hugh Jackman vibe to him, hasn't he?
Can you think of anyone who would have wanted to take the child?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I am
Well,
quite
do tell.
sensitive to the energy and vibrations that people give off.
Tell me about
I get
the vibes.
impression that Mr. and Mrs. Harris aren't very happy in their marriage.
Guess that.
Ah, come on. Anyone could have.
Yeah,
picked up on
exactly.
that. Anyone except you, that is.
Mr. Harris likes to stay out late and not take his wife with him. I can't remember the last time they went out together.
He
I
goes
don't
out
know what
betting
he
on
gets
horses.
into, but it's possible he may have made some enemies.
in betting that can happen, I suppose. All right.
Can you think of any reason why someone would want to kidnap Charles?
It might have been for money, but last I heard, there was no demand for a ransom. I honestly don't know why this happened, Mr. Fordham. I just hope you find the poor child. He must be scared to death.
I found this button in the baby's crib. Do you recognize it?
Why, yes. That's one of Barney's eyes.
Ah.
Charlie's stuffed bear. It's
Okay.
his favorite toy, a gift from my friend Linda.
I didn't find
Tell
a
me
stuffed
about
bear in
Linda.
the nursery.
Then whoever took the baby must have taken Barney as well. Oh, at least the poor thing has something to comfort him. Bless the spirits.
Yeah, tell me about Linda.
Who is Linda?
I'm immediately
Mrs.
suspicious of her.
Linda Walker. She's a good friend of mine. As I said, she gave me Barney as a gift for Charlie.
Can you tell me anything else about her?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, very much in tune with her spiritual nature. I greatly enjoy my conversations with her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, I don't remember.
Is that so?
Wait. It was at the last Spectre Society meeting.
Ah, the
on
Spectre
19th.
Society, of
That's
course. Is it like a ghost hunting club or like a club for like people who to do seances and stuff?
What is the Spectre Society?
It's a club for spiritualists and amateur investigators of the paranormal.
Aha.
We meet twice a month to socialize and discuss our findings.
I see.
I'm not sure
Sounds
if that kind of thing's
fascinating.
real in this
Though
universe,
I
so
don't expect you to share my beliefs, Mr. Fordham.
Oh, I have a bit more experience than you'd think with regards to the spirit world.
You can say that again.
Where exactly do these meetings take place?
At a private residence in Gascon.
May I have the address?
Why, yes, it's 325 Rue Jameau. Are you going to seek spiritual guidance to find Charlie?
yeah.
Perhaps. You never know
Sure.
what might be worth looking into.
Okay, we've got plenty of places to explore now.
That's a lovely portrait. Who is it of?
That is my late husband,
I guessed
Jonathan.
correctly.
He used to attend meetings of the Spectre Society with me, bless him.
And is Jonathan in the
I tried to
room
get
with us
him
right
to be
now?
more in tune with the other side, but I think he was just humoring me. Oh, he was a
Oh.
good man. Everyone at the society cared for him very much.
Oh, look! Rocks!
Thank you, Dripping Light. Oh, look, rocks. Thank you for the 90 bits. Linda's address.
Do you have Linda Walker's address?
No, I don't. I never visited her home.
Right.
I get the feeling she doesn't like having visitors or being home very much. She prefers to meet people elsewhere.
Well, maybe I can meet her
I
at
was
the,
the same way after
Spectre
my
Society
husband
then.
died. It was embarrassing for my friends to see me living so differently. But I feel it's not just a matter of pride for dear Linda. I think there are lots of bad memories associated with where she lives.
I see.
I try to stay away from places like that. They leave a mark on the soul, you know.
Do they now?
I couldn't help but notice that chest full of dolls in the corner.
Oh, that. Oh, I know it must look a bit strange, but I pick up old and broken dolls so they can be repaired and donated to orphanages.
Well, that's nice.
It's my way of giving back to the community and helping poor children who have nothing to play with.
Yeah,
Well, what a kind soul. I wish she would find less creepy ways to express her altruism.
It does look a little bit I just got an achievement called Not What It Looks Like. I thank you for the 150 bits. I'm not sure if that was well timed or not. But thank you for the Tom Baker moan. We always appreciate that. Alright.
How long have you worked as a nanny?
Only a few years. I never had to work when I was
Terrify you.
married. My husband had a lot of money. Unfortunately, he was in great debt. And after the spirits took him back to the ether, I wasn't left with much. So I began working as a nanny to make ends meet. But I consider taking care of children a reward in its own right.
Well, good for you.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was enlightening.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. I was expecting to say it's got a little ghost symbol. Then there's the Harris Construction Yard. Yeah, let's have a look there. Ooh.
Well, someone certainly wasn't shy about making their opinion known.
I'm gonna do
we say
a
to
save
Harris
while
and
I'm
his
here.
cronies, no, we will not stand for this.
Shipyard. Okay, is this what's his face?
Pardon me, are you
Arthur
Devins by any chance?
Yes. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Guess so. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to bring up the threatening letter. I'm just gonna find out a little bit about him, and not tip off that I'm considering him as a suspect.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction.
He does look a bit like Walter White, actually.
I lost my wife in the Lygia crash, and I'm not the only one, neither. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship. It's like a slap in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Lygia disaster.
Seems reasonable.
Not only that, we want compensation for our losses.
Yeah.
Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper. It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future in steam tech, and they'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, the innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Okay, tell me about your wife.
You must have loved your wife very much.
Are you joking? I loved her more than there are stars in the sky. She was
can
my
tell.
whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life.
Oh, I'm very sorry for your loss.
It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed. You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham? I see a ring on your finger.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice. Appreciate every moment you have with her.
I don't think this guy did it.
Know when she'll be ripped out of your life.
I don't think he did it.
Leaving you with nothing.
You know, this fellow was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
I might as well ask if he's seen it.
Do you recognize this button?
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that button gets booted into the street and replaced with some steam-belching contraption.
Okay, buddy.
You seem very dedicated to your cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
It
There's
is.
quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I've heard
suspicious of that as
stories
well,
about some
Tanman.
more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
You mean the Redites? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Are you
Okay.
a member of the Redites, Mr. Devins?
No. I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't
if
think
you
he's
mind,
responsible.
I think we should drop the subject.
Right, yeah, I'm not gonna press him on that then.
Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr.
I prefer to
Fordham.
have him on our side.
2 men.
Don't these people have jobs they need to go to?
Come on, Bill.
Elect Hart Leroy, the man of the people. I think that's preaching to the choir around here.
Okay, can I get in here at all? No, it doesn't look like it.
I suddenly remembered a joke. What's the difference between the HMS Lenore and Chief Snelling? One is a greatly disliked and untrustworthy sack of hot air, and the
Yep.
other is the HMS
Yep.
Lenore.
Tell where that was going. Okay, so we also have a lead with the Spectre Society, so let's have a look over here. Ooh. It reminds me of Madame Casano's house in Gabriel Knight 1.
Yes? May I help you?
Hello, ma'am. My name's Miles Fordham, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Are you with the police?
No, I'm a
yeah,
private
not
investigator.
exactly.
I'm terribly sorry, darling, but I simply don't have the time right now.
Oh.
Perhaps if you come back next week, I'll be able to answer your questions
I don't.
then.
Okay, you know what? I'm interested in joining the Spectre Society. I got a ghost in my brain. Can you tell me about that?
This is the Spectre Society, right? I'm interested in joining.
Ah, yes, it is. Welcome, darling. Our membership process is a bit different to most social clubs. We require a sponsor.
Sounds simple
I
enough.
got the old lady.
Well, you see, we ask that sponsors be people
Exchange
who
it real
have
quick.
passed on into the spirit world. Once you name your sponsor, I will attempt communication beyond the ether.
Okay.
When they answer, you will be judged and considered for membership.
Right. We're looking for a sponsor then.
What are you looking for in a sponsor?
A willingness to communicate from beyond the ether.
Uh-huh.
Open-mindedness, a desire for truth. In other words, all the qualities of a member of the Spectre Society. Actually, we've had former members who have passed on act as sponsors before.
I've got a sponsor. It's... Ooh. What's his face? The lady's husband.
I've got a sponsor.
Excellent. What is the name of your sponsor, darling?
Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis is my sponsor.
You knew Jonathan? He was such a kind man. Yes, I can feel his presence, and it speaks positively of you. Please
Yes.
come in, Mr. Fordham.
She's
I am
definitely
Angela,
not lying at all, then.
Founder of the Spectre Society. Welcome. May I offer you some refreshments? Some water or tea, perhaps?
You're very kind, but I'm afraid I must decline right now.
Well, please let me know if you change your mind.
How do I get a
Look, Jude,
goddamn
look at
cup
this
of tea in
place.
this game?
It's like a candy store for psychics.
I couldn't get tea at the other place either. It's a nice looking place though, very like gothic. I like it.
Those are some creepy twin girls. I could see a passing resemblance to Miss Maxwell, actually. There's quite a few members in this group.
Do we have a There's Linda Walker. Henrietta Davis. I wonder if there's anyone else that we none of those names I recognize. Okay. Linda. Looking forward to having you over at the Manor next week. Come around 8 p.m. and you can meet Charlie. Ooh, that's interesting. If you remember the timings of when, when Charlie was kidnapped, supposedly, it happened at some point between 8 and 9. That actually lines up. I think Linda's got... There's something suspicious about that, Linda. Interesting.
I think I've seen one of these before. What does it do?
It's a
It's
Ouija
spirit
board.
We use it to contact spirits, and they in turn spell
I'm
out
a big boy now.
the letters on the board.
That's me whenever I
I've
figure
got
out a
message from
mystery.
Miss
I'm a big
Maxwell.
boy now.
She ever tries to use a spirit board around me.
Thank you for the 75 bits drifting light.
Ooh, spooky. That ghost between the two people almost managed to look convincing.
All right, Bill.
What a fascinating device. Exactly what does it do?
That is an etherometer. It's designed to pick up vibrations from the ether and translate messages from the spirits.
Uh-huh.
A great man once said to me, Bill, you aren't going to get very far in life just staring at balls. He's dead now. But then again, so am I.
God damn it, Bill. Oh, hello, Bill. Bill is the best character by far. Oh my god.
It's nice of Miss Maxwell to let people borrow her books, even if they are all just a bunch of nonsense. And coming from me, that's really saying something.
Interesting. So you got Secrets of Astral Projection, Metempsychosis, The Art of the Seance, Terrors of the Deep, The Giant Squid. Oh, thank you for the Tier 1 subscription, Dragon Cap. An 8-month streak. Just lurking today. Hope I solved the cave. Thanks for lurking and getting that subscription in. No problem, Kinkybus. Thanks for coming along. Voodoo in New Britannia. Mediums, Gateway to the Spirit Realm. What Lies Beyond the Veil? Is that a reference to The Last Door? Secrets of the Tarot, Spirits and the Ether, and Mysteries of Spontaneous Combustion. Ooh, that's fun. Huh. I'm just skimming through this right now. Interesting. It's a bit about astral projection. Metempsychosis refers to this philosophical idea of the transmigration of the soul at the time of death. Also, reincarnation. Interesting. Art of the Seance. I'm just skimming through these right now. Oh, look, giant squid. That's fun. Ah, voodoo. Voodoo is interesting. I learned a lot about voodoo from Gabriel Knight 1, actually. That's it. That is spooky. Spontaneous combustion. Oh god. Victims are chronic alcoholics. They are usually elderly females. The hands and feet usually fall off. Fire has caused very little damage to things around the body. A residue of greasy and fetid ashes is left behind. Spontaneous combustion is one of those things that's really interesting, but generally speaking, what people have thought to be spontaneous combustion is quite often people falling asleep with like a cigarette, and the cigarette falls on them and lights them on fire. And I was thinking Mrs. Davis might be lighting on fire shortly. I was actually thinking that, but actually people who get drunk or, you know, or perhaps on some kind of medication, quite often happens to them. But it seems like the fires come out of nowhere and it doesn't really spread as much. I don't exactly. That's as far as I really know about spontaneous combustion as like a phenomenon. It doesn't just happen. It's generally there is a cause. Ooh, tarot cards.
The plaque says Leonora Pattinson, seer. She looks like someone I would not want to fool around with.
Okay.
I never much cared for all that mystic stuff. Why should your life be dictated by a bunch of cards?
Good point. I'm going to talk to Angela now.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
Tell me about the Spectre Society. I like your headdress thing.
What can you tell me about the Spectre Society?
Ah, where to begin? I formed this club 2 years ago, right after I moved to New Britannia. During our meetings, we discuss our experiences with paranormal phenomena and organize investigations.
What sort of investigations?
We look into places all around the city which have been reported as haunted. New Britannia is teeming with the spirits of those killed during the French and British takeovers.
It does look like she's got a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, actually, yeah.
That, but there is a prevalence of mystic religious practices here in Gascon, brought over by immigrants from the Antilles.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of books on the subject over there in the bookcase, if you're interested in
Oh yeah, I've already
more.
skim-read them all.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about any kidnappings, darling. If you wish, I can commune with the spirits and see if I can help locate your missing person.
No.
That won't be
Yeah,
necessary,
that's
Miss
fine.
Maxwell.
Don't worry about it.
No, I appreciate the offer.
Tell me about Linda.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, and she mentioned one of your other members, Linda Walker. Can you tell me anything about her?
Ah, Linda. Poor dear. Of all our members, she is the one I feel for the most.
Go on.
Why is that?
She's had a tragic life, but I believe the Spectre Society has helped her greatly. Not only has she made a good friend in Henrietta,
grief.
she's also dealt with her grief in a positive way. She has devoured my collection of books, educated
Shouldn't
herself
eat
on many
books.
subjects. I would say she's become an expert on clairvoyance and metempsychosis.
I will have to
always
read
nice
closely
know that the club
at
can help
metempsychosis
those who have
then.
suffered.
Do you see her often?
Yes, she comes by about once or twice a week.
Interesting. If I had to, hazard a guess, it's possible that Linda also lost someone in one of those airship accidents. Much like, what's his face? Devon's and his wife. I wonder.
What can you tell me about Linda and Henrietta's friendship?
It's so lovely to see them together at the meetings. They're practically inseparable. It's quite sweet. They often leave messages for each other in the guest book.
Yes, I noticed that.
When Linda found out that Henrietta was taking care of an infant, she even gave her a toy bear for the child.
Yes,
I remember Linda lighting up
Barney.
with excitement when she asked about him. She really loves children. It's such a terrible shame about...
Oh.
But please, let's discuss something more pleasant, shall we, darling?
She lost a child then, didn't she? So if she lost a child, perhaps as some form of revenge or through grief, decided that she wanted to take someone else's child. Namely the grandson of the guy who owns that the airship company. It's just that's my theory so far. Interesting. But how does the betting, betting on horses with the other guy fit into this? This is interesting. Okay, let's just tell me about metempsychosis then, because I did read a little bit about it, but I'm not entirely sure what it is.
I'm sorry, what was it you said? Madam Psy, what?
Maybe it's a red herring,
Metempsychosis,
perhaps.
darling. It's a philosophical term which comes from ancient Greece. It refers to the transmigration of the soul after death.
Is that anything like reincarnation?
Essentially, yes. There's a book on the subject over in the bookcase, which can tell you far more than I possibly could.
Theory updated. I reckon that Linda believes that her son's consciousness went into this other little boy, and so that she believes that Charlie is actually her son, reincarnated, and that's why she kidnapped him. That's what I'm currently sitting on.
What's this tragic story about Linda you mentioned?
Oh dear. I probably shouldn't say.
Come on.
Miss Maxwell, I'm going to be frank. I'm investigating a kidnapping, and Mrs. Walker is a person of interest. I need to know as much about her as possible to help me solve
yeah,
this
that's also a
case.
good point,
Do I make myself
Stars,
clear?
Well, if it will help, Linda was married to a man named Thomas. Together, they had a son named Alexander. Thomas revealed himself to be a terribly cruel man. When he gave himself over to the drink, he would fly into rages and beat both Linda and the boy. One day, she came home to find both her son and husband dead.
My God, what happened?
The police ruled it a murder-suicide.
His eyes are wide.
Poisoning, apparently. Linda has been trying to make contact with Alexander's spirit for the past year or so, but has had no luck. It really is a terrible tragedy.
I'm definitely thinking,
Do you know Linda Walker's address?
I'm afraid not, darling. Linda has always been somewhat private, and that's not something I consider to be crucial information.
Right.
Do you know any way I can find her?
You could always come back for our next meeting. It will be the first Thursday of next month.
That's
By
quite
then,
a
we'll
while.
have completely lost track of Charles. There has to be another way of finding Linda.
Right. How to find
What
Linda
made you
then?
decide to start up this club?
I began communing with the spirits at a very early age. My twin sister, Rachel, died after falling into an icy pond. When
I
we
thought
were
she
8
might be a
years
twin,
old.
actually,
I'm
given
very
the
sorry,
painting.
Miss Maxwell.
Oh, I appreciate your sympathy, darling, but don't feel too bad. Rachel began speaking to me shortly after that. She has served as my spirit guide ever since.
Spirit guide? You mean you still speak with her?
Oh, yes. Every day. In fact, I was just speaking with her before you arrived. As I grew older, I realized there were others in the world who were also able to communicate with spirits, and those who had an interest in what lies beyond the ether. And so, once I moved to New Britannia, I decided to start up this club so we could gather and share our experiences.
Do you suppose she can hear what I'm saying? Hey, Angela, try a bit less eyeshadow, would you? You look like a purple raccoon.
Oh my god, Bill.
Nothing. Clearly a fraud. Ah, well.
I just had a thought, actually. Not related to the case specifically, but to the fact that we have Bill talking in our head. Is it possible, through a process of metempsychosis, that when Bill died in some way, that his spirit transferred into Miles' mind? Because I'm sure this will all link back in some way. I'm sure all these cases will have something relevant about each one. I think for the first one, it might have something to do with the ether and the sort of being able to make somebody unconscious by passing that current through them. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. This is interesting, though.
I was wondering,
Yes?
when you communicate with the spirits, are you able to...
Maybe we will exercise them.
If I wish them to leave me, yes. I bid them farewell, and they usually depart back into the ether.
What about the more persistent ones?
You do remember I'm right here, don't you?
Well, just between you and me. Those spirits are best dealt with by having the other kind of spirits. Quiets them right down.
I prefer soporific myself.
Oh? You hear the voices of the spirits as well, Mr. Fordham. But of course, now the reason for your visit to the Spectre Society is obvious.
You know...
Do you see? All our paths eventually become clear. I'm glad yours has brought you here.
Oh, wonderful. Now she started rhyming. Don't get any funny ideas about telling her about me. She may be a lunatic, but that's no reason to expose yourself as one too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't... I'll end the conversation.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
I'm wondering if Bill's trying to guide you in a specific direction. And maybe we'd be better off ignoring his advice at some point. I don't know. Because he was very keen on getting Juliet accused in the last case, but I don't think that was right. What was across here?
Must be for the more traditionalist members.
Fair enough.
I'll be going now.
May the spirits guide you to that which you seek.
Okay. Maybe I can talk to her about a little bit more.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk about the visits with Linda and see if we can find out a bit more about her. Miles' worst self personified as his friend. Yeah, that's also possible. I'm very curious about what the actual, underpinning reason is for Bill being in his head.
Mrs. Davis, have you ever had Linda visit you at the Harris Manor?
Oh, no, of course not.
Then would you care to explain your note to
Yeah,
her in
that's
the Spectre
curious.
Society guest book?
Please, Mr. Fordham, I didn't mean to lie to you.
You lied
It's
to
just
me.
I get so lonely by myself in the house at night. So every now and then, I invite Linda to come over for tea and some company.
I see. And when was the last time this happened?
Was it the night of the
2
kid?
nights ago.
Okay.
Please don't tell Mr. and Mrs.
Ooh.
Harris, Mr. Fordham.
It was recent.
If they found out what I was doing, they'd have me dismissed without a reference.
I won't.
Force an
I'd very much
intimidation
like
of the
to
way the
speak
character
with
matches
Mrs.
up to it.
Walker.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where I can find her?
All I know is that she works as a seamstress at a shop in Lyon.
Okay.
But I don't know the name. I'm sorry, I can't be of any more help than that.
Maybe Constance will
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
I teleported to the door.
May the spirits guide your path.
It's not a bug, I just double clicked on it. Alright, I'm gonna go see if Constance can tell us about a seamstress in was it Lyon?
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanna go over the case. Okay, I can talk about the other case.
What's the other case you mentioned? The one you
Oh.
said was a higher priority.
Well, it seems we might have a mass murderer on our hands.
Well, that
Don't
sucks.
say.
That's right. I didn't say because I shouldn't say. But so far, we've had 3 murders with a very similar MO in the past 2 months.
Okay.
Snelling is trying his hardest to keep it under wraps since the newspapers already caught wind of the first 2.
I don't envy the department there. I'm happy to stick with the missing persons and domestic disputes. How's work going?
Hectic as usual. Crime in this city seems to be getting worse and worse every day.
You're telling
I
me.
suppose that's the price of progress.
God help us if they ever actually discover that ethericity stuff then. Things between you and Adelaide getting any better?
I'm really not sure. They haven't gotten worse, but things haven't been the same between us since Bill died.
Well, you need to figure things out, or everything is just going to explode in your face one of these days.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Upton.
Yeah, jeez.
I'm merely speaking from experience. If I'd seen the warning signs of Harold sooner, it would have saved me quite the headache. At least your marriage seems like it's still worth saving.
Can we go over my current case?
Let's talk about what we're actually here to talk about.
What have you got?
Okay.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, the Harris family nanny.
A sensible place to start. What did she have to say?
She claims to have been unconscious when the kidnapping took place.
She must be an extremely heavy sleeper.
I don't believe so. The way she described it made it sound like she was drugged.
Interesting. Definitely worth looking into, I'd say.
Have you ever heard of the Spectre Society?
I think so. They're some sort of ghost hunting club, aren't they?
A spiritualist group, yes.
Don't tell me this case has taken a turn for the supernatural.
Well, it has
Not
a little
exactly.
bit.
It's just come up as a potential lead.
Alright, metempsychosis.
Are you familiar with the term metempsychosis?
No, what is it?
Apparently some mystics and philosophers maintain that it's a process whereby human and animal souls are transferred to new bodies upon death.
It's interesting.
Fascinating. Some people have such queer ideas. What's that got to do with the kidnapping, though?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Sometimes I'm jealous of all the odd things you detectives get to look into.
Alright, tell me about the button.
I found this button at the crime scene. The child's nanny identified it as the eye of his stuffed bear.
Did you find the bear at the scene?
No bear.
No, the kidnapper must have taken it as well.
Interesting.
Either the kidnapper is very compassionate, or it's someone who knew the child. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to
Okay,
it.
so I can't ask about the seamstress in Leon. I wonder if I
The
can
election seems to be getting intense earlier than
Let's
normal
eavesdrop.
this time.
That's for sure. Leroy really wants to be prime minister.
What do you think of him?
I think he's like every other politician, full of lies and false promises. He claims to be a man of the people, but I'll believe it when I see him step into a factory like the rest of us.
That's a good point, actually.
Atwood ain't perfect by any means, but he's at least the devil we know.
I see. What else can I eavesdrop on here?
Cutting our wages. The foreman told us all yesterday.
No, that's terrible. Why?
Because they're spending the extra money bringing in steam-powered machines. They say it's only temporary, but a lot of the others are saying they're getting ready to replace us.
Yeah, I don't see why
So
they're
what are
doing...
you gonna do?
What can I do? I'm lucky enough to have this job. I'm not about to leave it.
You're isn't here,
Have
though.
to find some other way of making ends meet.
Let me at least buy you a drink.
Thanks, but I can't. I'm working a double shift tomorrow. I need to be at my best.
Okay.
Heard the Redites are planning a big attack on a bunch of factories.
There's more.
Those idiots. I wish they'd stop with their nonsense.
You don't support them? I'm surprised, especially considering a machine took half your arm.
I don't believe in solving problems with violence. This city's got some real problems. When people pay more for an airship ticket than most workers earn in a year, something stinks.
Yeah, I'd
But the
say
way
so.
to deal with
I
that
agree with
ain't by
that.
blowing up steam tech, that I can tell you.
I don't know how you do it. If I was you, I'd never get near any steam tech again, and wouldn't care a fig if it got blowed up.
Well, then it's a good thing you ain't me, isn't it?
Alright.
It's getting pretty ugly between Atwood and Leroy.
I'm just getting this information because I think it might be useful at
Not
some
sure.
point.
I'm none too pleased with Antwood, but this Leroy character doesn't seem much better.
Leroy is a man of the people, though. He's trying to expose the corruption of Atwood's parliament. You do know the real reason the bridge to the Chum has been delayed so many times, right?
I thought it was because they don't have the money.
That's exactly the type of lie Atwood is feeding everyone.
Go on, Mr. Top Hat, sir.
It's really because they want to keep the chummies out of the rest of the city. Roy said so himself.
Okay.
Not only that, Atwood's trying to bring in more automated workers.
Really?
I mean, I suppose that could be a reason.
So if you're worried about keeping your job, I'd suggest voting for Leroy.
I'm not allowed to vote, remember?
Damn.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh, that's messed up. Okay. Let's see if we can find another lead on this seamstress then. A little bit of racism in the afternoon. Oh, I wonder if Adelaide knows. She might be aware of
Hello, dearest. I have returned.
the seamstress.
Seeing you come home always puts a smile on my face.
It doesn't look like you're smiling.
Addie?
What do you need, dear?
Actually, smiling there. Okay.
You weren't kidding about business picking up. You're averaging what, about 3 appointments per day?
More like 5.
Wow.
I told you, debutante ball season's busy.
Doesn't it get tiresome?
Not really. You'd be surprised at the sort of gossip I hear from my clients. I don't know what it is, but they just open up to me and tell me all kinds of personal things.
Must be interesting to be a
Sure you
hairdresser.
don't want me to give you a trim?
I'm fine for now, dear. Thank you.
Don't touch my greasy mop.
I'd forgotten how good you are at écarté. You absolutely destroyed me the other night.
As I recall, you used to hold your own pretty well.
We should have another match soon. That way I can hone my skills.
Yes, we should. As long as you can concentrate, I'm sure you'll get as good as you used to be.
I can't believe the nerve of that narrow-minded old cow.
Whoa.
Who, Mrs. Delacroix? She's actually one of my nicest clients.
I don't know how you can tolerate her. If I were you, I'd strike her off my list.
If I did that for every one of my clients who thought the same as her, I'd be out of a job. That's just the way it is.
Maybe so, but it doesn't make it any less infuriating. Have you ever heard of a group called the Spectre Society?
I think I had a client once who mentioned it. There's some kind of spiritualist group, right?
So it would seem.
I don't really know anything else about them, sorry.
Well,
how are things going with you?
I'm a bit worried about some rumors I've been hearing.
Oh?
They're saying it won't be long before automated hairdressing devices are available to the public. Once that happens, it's going to be tough for me to keep getting
That
jobs.
seems like...
Automated hairdressing devices?
Yeah, I was thinking
How would
that.
those even work? Do they read your mind?
Yeah.
Doubtful. More than likely they'll have some kind of settings or just give everyone the same type of hairstyle.
I wouldn't
Damn.
worry too much, Addie.
Conformity,
You're the best
all right.
hairdresser in town. I doubt people will place their trust in some contraption over you.
You underestimate my clientele, Miles. They're mostly all rich socialites whose hobbies are buying the most expensive and modern things just to outdo their peers. They'll be sending their servants to line up for days before the things are released.
Perhaps, but they'll come running back to you once the machines stop working. You'll see.
I certainly hope so.
I'll let you get back to your book.
All right.
Enjoy your reading. I'll be back soon.
Don't work yourself too hard, dear.
You guys holding up okay in the chat? I know it's a bit of a slow game sometimes, so it's not always something to talk about, but hope you guys are doing all right. I wonder who could we talk to? The only thing I can think of doing right now is going back to the Harris residence, maybe see if these guys know Linda.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Oh, it's only the betting stubs.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
I have some questions. Those are all the questions.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris. I may have more questions for you later.
And I don't have any questions for her. Right. Huh. Nothing there then. Let's have a look. So yeah, I've got to track down Linda, of course. Still wants me to speak to Arthur. Maybe I can bring up that letter. I mean, I don't really want to press him on it, but maybe I have to. I'm gonna save over this one.
The time has come to reject steam machines.
Mr. Devons?
Yes?
Do you recognize this letter, Mr. Devons?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr. Malcolm Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Me and everyone else would had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
I'm not judging.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent.
Ah.
What have you got against the Harris family?
Family? Don't know nothing about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds. The man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
Charles Harris? Who's that?
Clyde Harris's grandson.
I didn't even know we had a grandson. I can't believe someone with a grandkid, a family, would want more flying death in the air.
Well, you know, rich people
have to die before someone realizes that steam machines are evil. People will kill their own mams for a crown these days.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devons?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you send along with your letters. It's a voodoo spell meant to cause bad luck in business.
Ah.
Quite a convenient solution, wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you're on about.
Come now, Mr. Devons. I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
All right, fine. I went to go see one of them magic women in Gascon. She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought maybe if I used it, I could scare Harris enough to get him to stop making the new airship.
Okay.
Well, I don't mean to be one to put a damper on your amateur witchcraft, but it doesn't seem to be doing you much good.
No, his grandson got kidnapped. That's not something I'd call
That's
luck.
true.
Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. So now all we can do is track down Linda. What have we overlooked?
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
There's quite a few.
What have we... anything in here that we've overlooked? I'm gonna relook at that book on metempsychosis, actually. A soul belonging to an animal or human transferred to a human will enter a body at birth. Okay, so that kind of throws out my theory of metempsychosis for Bill being in... Okay. Therefore, it can be useful to confirm a suspected reincarnation if the date of death and birth of the old and new bodies is the same. I wonder if the death of Linda's son coincided with the birth of Charles then. Huh. Anything else I can talk to with Angela?
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Ooh.
Certainly, darling.
Okay, it's just telling about Bill, isn't it? I don't want to do that, though.
Thank you for the...
It was my...
I don't want to do that.
I'll be going.
May the...
What can I do? Anyone got any ideas of where I could possibly take this investigation right now? Save then ask? Maybe. I'm gonna check at the ruined coffee house again.
We haven't anything to discuss right now, Fordham.
Never mind. Yeah, maybe I'll save. It might be a good idea. It seems like it's the only way forward right now.
Welcome back.
Spooky club. It's the spooky club. There we go.
Could I ask you about some things?
Oh, the
Miss
betting
Maxwell?
stubs. That's also true.
Certainly, darling.
Forgot about that. Actually, you know, I'll do the betting stubs first.
Thank you.
I think that's probably more pertinent. Betting stubs. Why I missed a clue in the nursery.
Oh, Mr. Fordham. Oh, thank God you're back.
Oh.
What's going on?
Our butler just brought this in. He found it stuck to the gate outside.
Hey, Gurnislav, how you doing? Oh, Harry's family, we have your son. If you ever want to see him again, you must stop building the new airship. We are not joking. Ah, okay. I get what's happening here. I told what's his face, Devons, that Charles had been kidnapped, and now he sent this through. Yeah, that's he's just he's just doing something for his own ends, I think. Okay, so what do I need to? Have I missed something in here
Some
then?
sort of fuzzy animal wearing a waistcoat. Charming.
Let's have a look.
Huh. There's a small emblem.
Oh, I didn't
sewn
realize I
on
could
the
pick it
side
up.
of This piece
Okay.
of fabric. It just says SS.
Somebody's initials, maybe?
Ah, I didn't realize I could pick that up. Okay. SS. Interesting. That could be the name of the seamstress, perhaps? Since that's what we're looking for. Perhaps.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
Looks like it came from a piece of clothing. Possibly a jacket.
Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
Maybe? I can't really say. You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Fordham. I've got quite a lot on my mind right now.
This guy's still
if I can think of
suspicious.
anything, I'll be sure to let you know.
I'm still suspicious about the betting stubs thing. But, again, I'm not sure if I want to press him on it just yet.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
Sarcastic spill.
I have some questions for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
Do you know about the torn fabric?
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've never seen it before. Do you think it was left by the kidnapper?
Possibly.
Perhaps. Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
No, I can't think of anyone or anything I know with those initials.
Possibly a bit too down market for them, this seamstress then.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
I'm not sure if the ransom note's relevant, so I won't talk about that just yet. Because I think it's just Devon's just doing his thing. SS. Maybe Constance is aware of. Yes.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Okay.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
I found this torn piece of fabric at the crime scene. It's got an emblem with some initials on it.
I recognize that emblem. It's from Solomon Stitching,
Aha!
a little tailor shop in Lyon. My ex-husband had several jackets from there.
Sorry to dredge up old memories, but do you remember where they're located?
I believe it's on the corner of Bonneville Street and Surratt Avenue.
Fantastic. You're helpful as always, Upton.
Got it.
That's enough about the case for
I had a feeling she'd be able to
Okay.
tell us where it
That's
was.
it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
I just needed to find that fabric. I don't know why I didn't think to pick it up. Okay.
Good day to you, sir. Welcome to Solomon Stitching. I'm Jonah Solomon. Please let me know if I can help you with anything.
Isaac Samuels, the prime minister who freed the slaves.
All right.
They say even his enemies wept on the day he died. I sure hope I get to meet him someday. This guy has been in business forever. It's quite the selection, but I doubt the typical clientele of this place buys off the rack. That coat is so dull. I always prefer the ones with a bit more color. The design of that coat looks awfully familiar.
Oh, it does. Yeah, I think the same material.
My grandmother had one like that. I think it was meant to be relaxing, but it always felt like my time was running out. Now that it has, well, it actually is relaxing. Go figure.
Okay. I have a few questions, Mr.
Mr.
Solomon.
Yes, sir. How may I be of service? Oh, let me guess. You're looking to replace that old coat. It looks like it's got quite a few stories it could tell me.
Hey.
You should listen to the man, Miles. He clearly knows what he's talking about.
Not today, I'm afraid. There's still a few more stories it has left to tell. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions? Very well, but if they aren't about tailoring, I don't know how much help I'll be.
Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna ask about Linda Walker first.
Do you by chance employ a seamstress named Linda Walker?
I do, yes.
Is she here?
No, she has the day off today, but she'll be in tomorrow.
Would it be possible to have her address?
Begging your pardon, but why should I give it to you?
A private investigator is crucial to this case. Her son and mine were schoolmates. I have something to return. Thing is, it's wondering what the right option is here. Because I'm assuming he would know that she'd lost a son. So how recent was it? I don't think it was that recent. It seems like it would be weird to bring it up now. We could just go for the straight up honest answer, but he might hold back on that. And sister, but we've lost touch is that just seems like a bold-faced lie to me. I'm not actually sure. What do people in the chat think would be the best option here? Because I think these all have like downsides to them. I feel like the third one could work since it has an emotional appeal, but drinking green juice that tastes like pond water. Well, you know, it's probably healthy then, isn't it, Joe? Also, hey, Joe. I want to ask your opinion on something, Joe. So, I'm trying to track down this woman called Linda Walker. Now, Linda Walker is a suspect in a kidnapping. She is a woman who lost her son in the past couple of years. What this is her boss. What would be the best option in order to try and find out her address? So it's like either telling the truth and saying that we're a private investigator, saying that she's our sister and we've lost touch. What sort of relationship the boss and her have? We don't really know, but it's a small shop. It's like a small seamstress. So I'm assuming they at least know each other quite well. In which case, I would say that he knows that she lost a son. So I would, and he might actually. I tell you what, he might know that she doesn't have a brother. I think I'm gonna go with the third one. I think that's the right call.
Her son, Alexander, and mine were...
And he name dropped his son.
I just found a book he lent my son, and I wanted to return it. I've been trying to track her down for ages.
Ah.
I only just found out where she works.
Yep.
Oh, I see. It was a terrible tragedy what happened with her boy and her husband.
I think that's the right
I know
choice.
how private Mrs. Walker is, but I'm sure she would appreciate you returning her son's book. All right. She lives at 403.
I think we made the right call. Nice.
Remember when you couldn't even bring yourself to trick people into thinking their shoelaces were untied? You've come a long way, Miles.
All right. Now that we've got that information, I'll ask him a few more questions. Because I was afraid that the other questions might lock me out in some way, just inadvertently, so...
This is a nice shop you have. I never even knew it existed.
Well,
So
better
dialogue
late
choices
than never,
matter?
always
I
say.
think so, yeah.
Life has a funny way of always taking us where we need to go in the end.
True. Although I think it's easy to miss out on things from time to time.
I think if you bring up, like,
Of course,
the wrong
it's easy to
things,
overlook
people can, like,
details,
lock you
but
out
in the
of, like,
scheme of
further
things,
information.
You'll end up where you need to be. And in this case, you ended up here. So, please, feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you find anything you like.
I found this piece of torn fabric with your emblem on it. Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes. Brown, wool, houndstooth. This is from one of the more popular jackets I sell.
And here I thought my ability to name ales within 5 seconds of tasting them was good. This fella has me beat.
Do you have any of them in stock currently?
Well, sure, I've got one on the display dummy over there.
Is there any way you can tell me who you've sold them to?
Ooh, I don't think so. I've sold at least 20 in the
That's
past
quite a
month.
few.
As I said, it's a very popular style.
Is there anything you can tell me about this button?
What do you think of this?
Looks like it's made of wood. Not very well crafted either. Definitely not from one of my products.
And tell me about yourself.
How did you get into this business, Mr. Solomon?
I was always good with a needle and thread. When I was a boy in Poland, I would help my mother with her sewing. Then, during the war with Russia, I fixed uniforms and stitched up wounds. Not long after that, I moved to Vespuccia, settled here in New Britannia. My first shop was in the Chum, but thankfully, I was very successful and was able to move to Lyon. I won't lie to you, this location is much, much nicer. It's refreshing
Yeah,
to not have to
I've seen a bit of the Chum.
oboes when I open and close the shop.
Oh, but that's part of the charm of owning a business in the Chum.
Not much else to say beyond that. My business is my life.
You seem very dedicated to your craft.
That's right. You won't see any of that newfangled steam-powered nonsense in here. Everything is done by hand and with care. I use only the finest quality materials and stitch every thread myself. And that's the way it's gonna stay as long as I'm around. It's worked for 45 years. There's no reason to change as far as I'm concerned.
I'll be taking my leave of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Very good.
Same style setting with Thief. Yeah, I know you've been playing quite a bit of Thief. Alright, now that we've,
Impressive collection of pattern books. I wish I'd known about this guy when I was alive. I'd have asked him to make me a suit for my funeral. Judging from the position and the lock, this is likely where Mr. Solomon keeps his money.
Good to know. Alright. We can now go to the Walker residence. Oh yeah, the co-detective died. That happens like right at the beginning of the game, Joe, actually. There's an incident when you're investigating the flower robbery, and yeah, Bill dies, but he becomes a voice in your head. There's something going on there, and I don't exactly know what yet. Walker. One of those
Some
steam
people would call
inventions.
that humming and hissing the sound of progress. I'd call it annoying. It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs.
Right. Well, and let's
Nobody home. Now what?
Doug Walker. No, it's not Doug Walker.
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Is that George Carlin?
Afraid not, sir.
Damn. Oh well, what can I do for you?
Do you know Linda Walker?
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days.
Typing and pointing
She told me
screen.
she was going away for a bit. Ah, that reminds me. She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Oh, is that a spare key?
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure, I'm her landlord. I look after the
I
place when she's
see.
gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
Well, I'll help you.
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Can I just like strong arm him into giving the key, or I'm not sure that's the right approach right now. But it doesn't look like there's any other option, and I did just save, so You haven't missed a huge amount yet, Drifting. I've been on the trail of Linda, who we think was we think Linda kidnapped the little boy after she lost her own son, and I think from what I can gather, she believes that her son was reincarnated into this other boy. So, and she has been over to the house, according to Mrs. Davis. So we're trying to track her down at the moment. I won't strong arm the key off him.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
He said he put a spare key somewhere, so I wonder.
Says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment. Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
Don't worry.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
I will do that. What could possibly go wrong?
Find fuel source.
Okay. So. I don't know what this is doing. Yeah, fixing his boiler might put me in good favor. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
These pipes are connected to the flue. They must heat up the water in this overgrown tea kettle.
Huh. Turn valve right. That did nothing? Can a ghost have another ghost look in their mind? I don't know, maybe. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay.
It won't go any further in that direction.
Well, it won't go any further in that direction, apparently. Maybe if I send it.
It won't go any further.
So
in
it can
that
only
direction.
go two either way. Line them up. I don't know what that does. The starter valve. Oh, that's so we need to get this lined up in somewhere. Check where the big pipe connects. Okay.
I don't think you should leave this thing unattended.
Oh. I'm seeing if there's anything. No, there's nothing else I can look at. Alright. I just wanted to have a look, see if there's anything else to click on. So you can open and close this. The flue. There's some coal.
Find fuel.
So it's starting. Let's get it going again. Not the fire effect. Build up pressure in the main tank and then use the starter valve. Keep the lid closed on the flue right now. Yeah, that might be a good idea. See if I can get it to change anything on here at all. I'm not sure. Is there anything else I can affect? I'm gonna think about this. Try opening that and closing it after a little bit. That might be a good idea, yeah. Opens up that.
It won't go any.
Okay, so it's all the way to the right. I don't know what to really do with this, honestly. This is stumping me a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's a way to actually, like, affect this in anywhere. Is there anything else I can click on?
These pipes are connected to the flue. They must heat up the water in this overgrown tea kettle.
Okay. Okay, but how do we do that? Yeah, I'm not figuring this one out right now. I tell you what, these valves look more like spider webs, actually. Completely unrelated, but
It won't go any.
turn it to the right once. I have to line them all vertically, perhaps. Can we even do anything with this yet, or is there like something else we need to do first before we can figure this out? Because this is our lead right now, but yeah, we do need to put ourselves in good favor with this guy. See if we can get the spare key so we can Anyone in chat got any ideas for this one?
These pipes.
I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. Yeah, genuinely a bit stumped on this. Maybe
I don't think you should leave.
Maybe there's someone else who does know a bit more about it.
Some people would call that humming and hip.
Maybe I can find out a little bit more about the machines in general, and then I'll be able to find a way to fix it, or find someone who knows how to fix it. Maybe this guy.
Mr.
I
Davis?
think I had a guess.
Yes?
He just can talk about the torn fabric of the ransom note. Nah.
Good day.
Dead end. I don't think he's involved, honestly, in this case as much. Like, he's involved in the general game world, but I don't think he's like responsible for anything to do with the actual like kidnapping. So, maybe Constance knows a thing or two about boilers.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
Ah!
You wouldn't happen to know anything about repairing boilers, would you?
Oh, sure. I fix 10 of them every day before breakfast.
Just thought I'd ask.
Anonymous
That's enough
gifter,
about the
thank you
case
for
me.
gifting a sub
Okay.
to Joe.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
And that distracted me, so I don't know what you said. What did you say about the... What did you say about boilers?
We haven't any...
Dang it. I wasn't paying attention.
All that
Bugger. I mean, thank you, Anonymous Gifter, but you also distracted me. Maybe I've got to... Oh, hold on. Maybe I've got to close the door.
It won't go in.
Yeah. Ah, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this all the way. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff. Did I go too far?
Now you've done it.
Did I... Oh, God.
What the?
What have you done? I do apologize.
You're one of those saboteurs.
No, I didn't
aren't
mean...
you? One of those Redites.
No,
I'm calling the police, you no-good troublemaking bastard.
Now you've really done it, Miles. Best not to stick around here too long.
Good thing I saved there. Let's not mess that up again. At least I know what I'm doing this time. I gotta talk to him again though, so.
Says
just gotta get all the I know it's save scumming, but you know. I know my mistake, I wanna correct it. I just wanna get through everything. Get through all the dialogue.
What? Afraid? Damn. Oh, well.
Do you know? I might.
Well. No, just.
Did you?
Sure, got it. The trick. What? Because me.
All right, here we go. All right.
If you.
Let's not blow it up this time. In hindsight, I kind of expected that might happen. Avoid the red this time. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably best keep it up to 5. Okay. Ooh, that's too much. Maybe that's good? Like, it's high, but it's not, like, dangerously high. I didn't do anything, though. Ah! Maybe want to be in the green. That's actually, you might be right, yeah. Oh, that's not the right direction at all. Oh, done the bigger valve. That's a good idea. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. That's it. Hey!
Well, color me impressed. You're either extremely lucky.
Yeah, I saved scummed.
Little faith.
I fixed the boiler. I got an achievement for that. And thank you for the 50 bitsy back. I did it. Fixed your damn boiler, sir. Now give me your key.
Yes. What is it?
I fixed the boiler for you.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job
I'm
than
not
the
a
people
yahoo.
paid to do this sort of thing. I owe you, friend.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Is that right? Is Mrs. Walker in trouble? Has she done something wrong?
I'm not entirely sure yet, which is why I need to take a look inside her apartment.
I see. Well,
Ah.
I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me a great service by fixing the boiler. I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That works for me.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Kristen, how you doing?
What in the ether?
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
A bit messy.
Looks as though she definitely left in a hurry. I wonder if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for
wow,
you in
yeah.
the kitchen, Mr. Fordham. Just let me know when you're done looking around.
She's done a runner.
Torn apart. She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take.
Probably the wise choice, actually.
That
Wallpaper
bit
bulge.
of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate.
Yeah, let's have a look, shall we?
What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
Okay. I don't believe it. Can it be true? At tonight's meeting, I struck up conversation with Henrietta. Charles Harris was born the day Alexander died. Yep, this is going exactly where I thought it was going. And he has blue eyes. I know I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but this is too perfect to be a fluke. To be sure, I need to find something of Alexander's appropriate for an infant. Maybe his old bear? Charles loved Barney. Henrietta told me she's never seen him react with such joy to any of his other playthings. There is no doubt now in my mind. Charles Harris is the reincarnation of my beloved Alexander. Yes! Vindication! I was right! At last we can meet together again. At last I can seek his forgiveness. I just need to find a way to take him from his false parents without getting dear Henrietta in trouble. I had the nightmare again last night. Alexander's cries of, "Why do you do it, mother?" were nearly too much to bear. When I have him again, I can finally explain that I couldn't do anything to stop him. Thomas was a monster, and I was at my wit's end. Dear Samuel had helped me so much, and there was no turning back once he had consumed the tainted pie. Huh. How was I to know Alexander's friend would take ill and he would arrive home early? Watching my boy share the poisoned meal with his father was the worst moment of my life. I must get him back. Damn. That is cold. I think so. Like, she was responsible for her husband's death then, which is through poison, but it accidentally killed his son as well. That's dark. Finally, after months of thinking, I have a plan. Samuel's instruction on the nature of plants has been the key. I will visit Henrietta tonight at the Harris residence and prepare everything. It must look as though a burglar entered the nursery and tore his coat. Ah! So that's why the broken glass was there. Whoever said it was a red herring, you were right. The broken glass and the torn bit of fabric. In 2 nights, I'll have my baby again.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
Uh-huh.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out where she's gone, as well as how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
This is a bit more clear-cut than the other case
Oh,
was.
we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong.
Jesus,
Ford
Bill.
and Legere on the case. The only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really? She couldn't think to pick up a button? She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
That's...
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yeah, fine,
yes,
fine.
Everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right. Sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right. Not another peep. As you were. It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old. If that's Linda's son, why would she leave this behind?
Because she has
Because
a
she
new
thinks
one.
She's got the real thing again.
Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes. Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit. And the books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers.
Yeah, don't worry.
A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her
Create...
wages on
I wouldn't mind playing a list of fan missions, yeah. I like to play through a base game of Thief first, though. Which I will do, I swear. Okay, I think we've covered everything we can find in here. Oh, maybe there's something in the trash pile.
I thought my apartment was messy.
Never mind. Guess we're...
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you for your cooperation.
Sure. I'm gonna do a save now. Where could she possibly have gone? Maybe Mrs. Davis has an idea.
Hello again, Mr.
Or
Fordham.
perhaps it's to do with the airships.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Oh, that's only the torn fabric.
Thank you.
Oh, you...
I'll be going now.
May the spirits...
Huh.
We won't stand for this injustice.
I'm trying to find out where she's gone. Maybe, maybe Constance has an idea.
We haven't anything.
Nope, she has nothing. At least I can give them some information.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Ah, you still
Those
can't.
are
all right.
I'm trying to think of where to head next then. Huh. Tell you what, the only other person we know that was close to her was was this guy.
Welcome back. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I think we've gotten all...
Never mind. I don't think where we could take this right now. Maybe the Spectre Society.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Oh,
Did I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Or is it just the stuff
Certainly,
about
Dark.
Bill? Yeah, it's just about Bill.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be going now.
May the...
I don't know where to go with this. Let's have a look through this. So, details her belief that Charles Harris is the reincarnation of her dead son Alexander. She intends to kidnap the child and reclaim him as her own. But where could she possibly have gone?
Mr. De-
I don't think this guy's got anything for us. We'll just ask him about the torn fabric, why not?
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket. The type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon. I could never afford clothes like that in a million years.
Yeah, whatever.
Good day.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Maybe I need to go through the ransom note dialogue. Possibly.
I have some questions.
Yes, of course.
What is your opinion of this ransom note?
It's obvious who sent it, Mr. Fordham. Why are you wasting your time here? Go arrest Mr. Devons!
Okay,
All right.
that's all he had to say about that.
I have some questions. Did you read the ransom note?
No, Malcolm wouldn't let me. He said I was already too upset.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Okay.
Very well.
I guess I'll confront that guy with the ransom note then. He says he couldn't afford to go to that point. He looks pretty well dressed, doesn't he?
Harris has no concern.
Mr. Devons?
Yes?
Mr. Devons, what can you tell me about this note?
I've never seen that before in my life.
You're a bad liar,
Are you
Mr.
sure
Devons.
about that?
Absolutely. It's as I told you. I had nothing to do with that boy's kidnapping. I didn't even know he existed until you told me. Remember?
Yeah, I know. It's
And that note conveniently showed up right after you had that conversation.
pretty much.
Let him stew in his own lines. His unique way of spelling is all the evidence we need to tie him to the note.
Very well, Mr. Devons. Forget I asked. Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Okay.
This Arthur Devons Joker is bad news. Not only is he making threats to the Harris family, he also has the nerve to send a ransom note. We have enough evidence to pin the crime on him, I think. The police can deal with the headache of actually finding the baby.
I don't want to... Yeah, I mean, he's a suspect, but... we know it's not him. So... we don't want to, yeah, we don't want to pin on
The only
him.
thing that matters to him is lining his pockets with the misery of others. To this we say...
The only other leader I think we can pursue is the betting stubs.
I have some...
Yes, of course.
Which I didn't really,
Mr. Harris, what can you tell me about these?
What? How did you...
Listen, I'm trying to help you and your family. I can't do it if I don't get the entire truth.
Do you think we could discuss this somewhere more private?
I suppose we could.
Good. Let's move to the nursery then.
Okay. Tell me more.
Shall we continue our conversation, Mr. Harris?
Yes, of course.
Now that your wife is out of earshot, tell me about the kidnapping and what these betting stubs have to do with it.
Right. As I said before, it had already happened when I got home. I had just come from spending the evening at the Meadows.
I see. I take it your wife isn't impressed by your hobby?
It's not a very,
I promised her weeks ago that I would stop going, but I've had such a good streak lately.
Gambling addict.
The last thing I wanted was to upset her further, yet it would be foolish of me to just give up on something so promising.
Can you think of anyone who might want to do you harm by taking your son?
Several, I'm afraid.
Go on.
I haven't exactly had the best of luck, Mr. Fordham. That's why this latest streak was so important to me. The truth is, I've gambled away most of my money. I've had to take out several loans so Miriam doesn't get suspicious.
Oh dear.
If she ever found out, it would be over. I can't lose her, Mr. Fordham. I just can't.
Where have I heard this before? You know, things would be so much easier if people just talked to each other.
I've tried doing business above board, but lately I've had to seek other resources.
What do you mean?
Is that right?
I was forced to visit a lending office. The owner was a rather shady Sambo, but I figured he'd be easier to deal with than the usual sheenies that run those type of places.
Can you believe this guy? Maybe we should just leave the kid be. He'd probably be better raised by wolves.
Who was the owner?
Mr. LaFay. I didn't bother to get his first name.
I
his
see.
business is in Abattoir Row in Chumley.
Oh, okay.
Horrid place. But I was desperate.
You think this Mr. LeFay may have taken your son as collateral?
Let's just say there isn't much those type of people wouldn't do to put a crown in their pocket.
Well, that's given us, like, something else to explore.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right. If you don't mind, Mr. Fordham, I'm going back to the living room. I don't want Miriam getting suspicious.
Okay, dude. Enjoy. Landing office. It's the new location. Oh, that guy definitely looks like a loan shark.
Hello, sir. Welcome to LeFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LeFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
I like he just instantly assumes that he's guilty.
For the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs, and we should get along fine.
Okay.
Mr. LeFay, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him. As soon as he walked through the door, I could tell his type.
What type is that?
Upper class, bored with his life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good. Maybe you can pursue money lending if the whole private investigator thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, then.
Damn.
Aside from that, I don't know anything
Rude.
about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to a minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Okay.
Are you aware that Malcolm's son, Charles, was kidnapped last night?
I had no idea he even had a son. As I said, I don't ask my clients too many personal questions. Though now you've told me, I suppose that would explain the emergency he mentioned in his letter. Poor guy.
I think we should have probably done this
Exactly
earlier.
How much did Mr. Harris borrow from you?
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It would help to have an idea of exactly how much he owes you, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
Wow, I don't know how much that is.
Sum.
Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
Huh.
What's your policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
There are a few options. For the first 3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as to fake his own death.
That's
Do you ever
dramatic.
employ any more unusual methods?
Now wait just a minute. I see where this is going. Mr. Fordham, I'm a family man myself. If you're implying that I would stoop to kidnapping someone's child
I don't
as
think it was
collateral-
you, don't worry.
I never said that, Mr. LeFay.
Look, I have a family to consider. I'm not about to go getting my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
We ever been at? I've been doing my thing. How's it going, Disco Inferno? I might have missed a couple streams recently simply because a couple of them I wasn't exactly feeling 100% up to it, and then other ones I was just kind of busy with other video work. But I've been on schedule this week.
Take a look at this piece of fabric. Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
I wonder if Linda tried to pin the blame on this guy.
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Ooh, nice animation. Can I only look up? Can I not open it? Look in the pockets, maybe. It doesn't look like there's anything I can click on. Okay.
No tears in mine, huh?
Not a one. You clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to discourage you, Mr. Fordham, but I've seen a lot of people with this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see.
That's curious.
Thank you for the information, Mr. LeFay.
Anything else I can ask you?
I've got some more.
Go ahead.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your business, Mr. LaFay.
What's to tell? I lend people money, they pay me back.
Most of the
Surely
time.
it's not that simple.
Well, of course I charge interest, otherwise I'd never make a profit. I know people don't look upon the service I provide very favorably, but without my help, there would be a lot more unhappiness in the world.
How did you go about starting up this business?
I didn't. My former employer, Mr. Roth, left it to me when he passed.
That was rather good of him.
Yes, well, he didn't have any heirs, and he considered me to be the son he never had. He was fond of my family, too. I try and keep my work and home life as far away from each other as I can, though. There's a lot of things in this line of work that my wife and daughter are better off not knowing about.
I think that's all for now.
Okay. It's one of those new retro games. It's new, yeah. Came out 2018. I want to say 2018, end of 2018. By Grundislav Games. I've been meaning to play it for quite a while, so.
A crew escaping a shipwreck on a violent sea. Not the most comforting painting to look at while waiting for a loan.
That's true.
LaFay with a woman and a small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man.
Okay. Thing is, I know it wasn't.
I'll let you know if I have any more questions.
I know it wasn't Devon's though. We can easily pin the blame on him, but I don't think we should. Is there anything else I can talk to this guy about, actually?
Yes? What is it?
Nah, never mind. Maybe there is a clue.
Do you think I might have another look
Actually,
inside Mrs. Walker's apartment?
All right, let's go.
and maybe there's like a clue as to where she went that I've missed. Like, I was pretty sure I looked at everything, but
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effect, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
it's in this
Have
panel.
I?
Yeah, I got a
I
book
had
from there.
noticed.
Yeah, no worries. I've already covered that bit. Disco Inferno. Valerian plus chamomile is a perfect sedative. Huh. No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Yo, your friend drugged you.
Hello
How do you,
again, Mr. Ford.
how do you feel about that?
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply, I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis. But don't worry, I'm doing everything I can to find her.
Oh, may the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
I need more than just the spirits,
I
though.
found this piece of torn fabric in the nursery. Does it look familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Ah, it's not
Thank you for your
helpful.
time, Mrs. Davis.
Not helpful anyway.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Well, I'd say we have everything we need to prove it
Oh.
was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea
Oh, great.
and took the child. It would be ideal if we could find out where she's gone before reporting back to Upton, though.
That's true. So we now have another suspect. So we can either accuse Arthur or Linda. He does look a little bit like Neil Gaiman, actually. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I was thinking like there's someone he looked like as well, and I think
I'll
that
be
was who I
going
was
now,
thinking.
Mrs. Davis.
I was thinking of.
May the spirits guide your path.
Let's try and find out where she's gone. Maybe I can go over the case. Hold on. Before I like actually accuse anyone, let's
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'd like to review the case. Nope, I can only wrap up the case.
That's it, I think.
Then you...
Okay. Let's try and see if we can find out.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Maybe there's something in the books that'll help us. I don't know. Can you help me with anything other than talking about Bill? No.
Thank you for
it.
No.
I'll be going.
I'm trying to think where we could possibly even take this right now. Maybe the guy from the lending office gave her a loan to get away?
I don't think he's...
No, never mind.
That's the latest model Computron.
Computron?
I shudder to think how many people's financial freedoms are locked away in that cabinet. He actually has a degree...
Okay, never mind. Is this a sort of investigation game where with failure states and bad ends? I don't think you can actually like get a game over, but I think you can fail the investigations. I think you can accuse the wrong people, because I think I accused the wrong person in the last case actually. I don't think I got the right person at all, because I just didn't add up. But I'm trying to make sure I get everything right on this one, or as much right as I can.
He's busy with his...
Nothing here. I wonder if we can talk to these guys about the drug tea.
I'll let... Sit tight,
Nope. I'm just wandering about. Solomon Stitching? Do you...
Welcome back.
Have any...
I think we've got...
Nope, he doesn't have anything else we can say. He can say, sorry. I see if there's anything else we've missed here, and then I don't know what else to do after that.
Yes? What is it?
Do you think I might have another look inside Mrs. Walker's apartment?
All right, let's go.
I don't think you can show people things specifically. Yeah, that's just that bit.
Well, at least that paint... It's a boy.
Because...
nice.
What did you miss? Oh, I'm just gathering evidence to accuse Linda. We've got the basically the confession in this. We've got like some basically hard evidence that she drugged the old lady to steal the child. We just need to find out where she's gone, and I'm not entirely sure how to do that.
The books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. You're actually gonna dig through that mess? Sure hope it's worth it.
Oh, hold on. This actually might be helpful. What's this?
A receipt.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems.
I didn't mean to click
Oh,
through that.
I hate to disappoint her.
Aha! Well.
A receipt with yesterday's date. One-way train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine.
Thought she could get away.
Okay, we've at least yeah, we've got the location. I think that's it. I think that's all we need. The only thing I've got left to talk at the Spectre Society is
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Is talking about Bill, and I don't want to talk about Bill to other people. So. I'm just going to save over this. And then...
Can
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Yeah.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
Linda Walker.
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
I did.
Yes, I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a telegram to the train station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good
I
as
think
you
we
again.
got the best.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper
We got the
channels
best
to
outcome on
report
that one.
information as an anonymous tip. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Hey, nice.
Welcome to Lorraine. An awfully cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
I didn't. It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris.
Got it.
Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
I mean, I almost feel bad for the lady, but at the same time,
Patty, are you home?
You can't just go around kidnapping kids.
Still at her appointment, it would seem. You know, Miles, I have to say, I'm proud of you.
Why's that?
It's because you actually listened.
Oh, yeah?
So does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
Then I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
Is that a threat?
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
The Angel? But you haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Hey.
Perhaps.
She
It would be
poisoned her
nice
son,
to see
attempting
old
to poison her
Patrick
husband.
again at the very
Yeah, but
least.
a husband
Then it's
was
settled.
like an
A
abusive,
drink
horrible
or two
person.
At the Angel, for old time's
So, but yeah, she probably should have done something to prevent her son from doing it. I don't know. Hard to say.
I have to say, it's been a
She was
real
clearly,
pleasure having you back, Miles.
She clearly had
I was
issues.
worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough, but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well, it may be none of my business, and you can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
I don't know how to do anything else.
It's all I know. My grandfather was a cop. My father was a cop.
I think this is based in
so
like a sort of
I'm
alternate
a
history,
cop.
1890s,
That's just how it
roughly.
Oh, I hear ya. I come from 3 generations of butchers myself. But I broke the streak because I can't handle the sight of blood.
If only that had been true in my case.
Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting... Wait a minute. Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles. I don't hear
What is
anything.
going on?
Neither do I. Another gin, if you please.
Coming right up.
Huh. Who's that shadowy figure?
I must have taken a wrong turn back there.
What's my
Hopefully
favorite point and
Addie
click
won't
game?
Come in.
My favorite point and click is probably Gabriel Knights into the Fathers. I adore that game. Although Monkey Island 2, Broken Sword 1, Sam & Max games, they're all up there. But I would say that... And Gabriel Knight 2 as well, actually, is really cool as well. Why do I feel like this guy's gonna, like, kill me somehow?
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
Do I recommend Gabriel Knight Remastered? I would say play the original first. The remaster kind of adds some new stuff. I think the remaster is more accessible, but I think the original's better. Oh yeah, Hit the Road's great. Sam Max Hit the Road is really good. I streamed that a while back. Sure.
Here you are, my good man.
You always were willing to help the less fortunate, weren't you?
Who are you?
But perhaps you should start thinking about helping yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar.
In case the
but
head
even
ghost,
I
maybe.
feel sorry for you.
Do I know you from... Oh god, is that the guy who killed Bill?
Do I know you from somewhere?
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Oh god.
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid. You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
I don't know. It might not, but at least I'll have closure.
Again with the lying to yourself. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner, no real job. Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you solve 100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
This is worrying.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone,
What are you, the
there'll be
Joker?
nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me. Not really.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I was thinking it might be a nightmare, actually.
You could say that. My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong person. I was out after
Hey,
the
Weird.
first
How
one.
you doing?
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
I was actually thinking, Weird, as I've been playing this, that I think this is a game you'd enjoy. Like, I know it's a point and click. I know you're not a big point and click guy, but I think you'd like this one. It's not like got the sort of classic design where there's lots of like moon logic inventory puzzles and stuff. It's very straightforward. It's pretty much a detective game where you're talking to people and trying to figure out, who's, telling the truth. And so I actually think you'd really enjoy this. Also, how you doing? What game do you think I would enjoy, Weird? Does it begin with M, perchance? Also, hey, Mystic the Manakete? Yeah, I stream a few times a week. I probably won't be playing for Manakete. Okay, I probably won't be playing for too much longer, I don't think. Since I've pretty much just wrapped up a case, and I've been going for 3 hours. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream shortly, but.
So, you're up at last.
Think about what I did.
Is something the matter, Addie?
Oh, I see. You don't remember last night, do you?
I got very drunk, didn't I?
I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Whatever may have happened, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me.
Remorse comes before
sorry, Mystic.
forgiveness,
It's
Miles. You don't even know what
just
you're
the time that I
apologizing
stream.
for.
Was it that bad? What exactly did I do?
It was nearly 2 when you burst in here, soused to the eyeballs from God knows where. I imagine you've probably forgotten that too.
Yeah.
You were muttering something about peace and quiet and then proceeded to relieve yourself on my begonias
Oh,
before
no.
stumbling into bed.
Charming. I salute you, O Vice Admiral of the Narrow Seas.
Good God. How embarrassing. I'm so sorry, Addie. I don't know what came over me.
I don't either. I've never seen you in such a state, and I pray that I never will again.
I think we're just messing around 10 win, no worries. When can you next catch me on? I have a schedule below the thing, but generally speaking, I stream at 7:30 on 7:30 in the evening BST, which is British summertime. And that's on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then usually one day at the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, that's my usual sort of schedule.
I just bit off more than I could chew last night. I promise you, it won't happen again.
What possessed you to go out and get so drunk anyway?
I decided to stop taking the soporific. It was interfering with my ability to focus on cases. I thought perhaps having a drink or two would help me sleep, and I got a bit carried away.
I see. Well, I'm at least glad you've stopped taking that terrible medicine. But trading
Oh, and you
it for
get too.
alcohol,
Nice.
This had better really be a one-time occurrence. Anyway, you got another message from Upton. It's there on the table, if you're feeling fit for the world now.
Okay. I'm gonna save this as got drunk. Okay. You remember me seeing me wear a Ghost vid and a Ghost shirt in a video too? Yeah. I do like Ghost. They're a great band. All right, I'm just gonna flip over this. Hey everybody. So yeah, my next stream will hopefully be at the weekend. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Obviously I'm kind of embroiled in like my whole Monkey Island video at the moment, so I'm spending a lot of time working on that. It's shaping up to be about 80 minutes long. I've nearly finished laying out the audio, so it's getting there. It's getting there. Shave. I know I need to shave. Shut up. But yeah, it's really long, and I'm excited. What's the red mark on my nose? I have a spot, like a spot between my eyes there. It's annoying, but what can you do about that? It's just what it is. What it is. Hold on, let me just mute that. Zenta is still going. I'm a hot dude. Thank you. I'm a mess. Thanks for keeping me my ego down weird. I appreciate that. All right. I don't actually get a lot of spots these days, but being at home more, I don't know. I feel greasier. So I guess that's just the way it's going. I'm a hot mess. Okay. We're raiding Zenta. He's playing Super Mario RPG. I don't know anything about that game, but he seems to be the only person that's doing anything right now. Stop taking my grease bath. Yeah. What can you do? Okay. Let's send you get this over. I don't know what the raid phrase will be. Think of a raid phrase. Maybe Bill in all caps again. I think that's what I did last time I streamed this, but pens? I'm going with Bill. We're going with Bill. See you guys later.